Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And today we're talking about the Men in Black. You know, the guys who allegedly in big quotation marks, harass UFO witnesses.
Allegedly, I might allegedly believe this one. I'm just gonna say.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting it out there already. I know there's no rhyme or reason to, I thought UFOs are bollocks, but I like Men in Black. And I realised that UFOs are an integral part of this Men in Black story, which I didn't realise until I started looking into it.
What did you think they did before?
Well, I just thought Men in Black were general CIA, just shady. I didn't know it specifically revolved around UFO aliens. Yes, I know the movie should have been a giveaway. I can see your face. Right, but
yeah, that was my go-to point next.
FBI guys, agents, they wear suits, don't they? And black suits.
Not when they're storming your house.
The movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, set in the 60s. Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is the FBI agent.
Right.
He wears a fucking hat and a black suit.
You could argue that's just the start at the time, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's FBI. That's what I thought. Men in Black, all FBI guys. I had no idea it was actually to do
you admitting
with aliens.
You believing in the existence of UFOs and aliens then?
I'm going to have to, in order.
Yeah, that's what I mean. These Men in Black are covering something up in your eyes.
We'll get there. I don't necessarily think that they're government. I don't necessarily think they work for the government, or they could.
Freelancers.
There's a theory. There's a number of theories. One theory
That's a
is
job I want.
they're UFOlogists themselves who've gone fucking loopy and rogue and are just fucking with other UFOlogists. Could be robots. They could be aliens. But we're getting
we'll
way
get
ahead of ourselves.
We'll get into that. Before we do anything,
is there any? I
got
have
some
one news story.
I got some weird news. You
No,
want to go first?
no, you go first. Hit me with some weird news.
So, right, Billy Corgan. Are we off the top of our heads? Billy Corgan, yeah. Credible witness or washed up rock star looking for attention?
Who has got ripped off by the second biggest wrestling company in the world?
Yes, he did.
Twice or something like that, because he's
Something
such
like
a
that.
fucking
Bit of
fan.
both.
Bit of both.
Bit of both. Oh, good job nobody was looking. I just loaded up the internet on my phone to find my news story, and the very last porno that I watched has just rather prominently flashed up. And I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. Oh Lord. Oh, that could have been awkward.
I've got a tablet for that. I like the bigger screen.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not drunk enough yet.
Mine's on a 42-inch television.
Oh God, where am I sitting?
In the room. It's like I'm watching right there.
Give me the fucking news story.
So, credible witness, washed up rock star.
Oh yeah, Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
William Corgan, as he likes to be known now.
Oh, fuck off, Billy.
He opened up on
Do you still like Smashing Pumpkins?
They have their moments.
They had that song, didn't they?
They have a two or three that I kind of like.
Are they still going or did they split up now?
I think they split up.
Oh.
And I think he's doing solo stuff that no one's heard yet. A bit like Marilyn Manson's.
I think that's a man called Swan, didn't he? And they weren't particularly good.
Thing is, he couldn't sing. That was always the thing. He got to be a singer in a rock band by not being able to sing at all.
There's a few of them, though, isn't there?
Yeah, but he's really bad. His voice is awful.
I haven't listened to enough of them to really.
Anyway,
Excuse me. First cough.
On the
Yeah, we're all dying of the flu.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not.
Apologies if
I am in absolute perfect health.
And we can all only pray that Ben gets a very big cold in his big smug mug. And next week, me and Mike are just feeling great. We've woke up with tans out of nowhere.
And ripped.
Yeah, we woke
Got a
up,
hair out of place.
yeah, just
one of them
ripped
days.
and pipped and like, perfectly manicured.
And Ben's got yellow monkey fever.
Again?
Again.
I was green monkey fever.
Oh,
It's- That's so many different colours. You get mixed up. Anyway,
Okay.
William Corgan, William Patrick Corgan, I think if you want to go really formal, he goes by that as well apparently. He's on the Howard Stern show. And he says that he witnessed a shape-shifting humanoid in the flesh. He opened up to production staff after, informing them that the record industry Illuminati is controlled by non-human reptilians.
No more drugs for that man.
I'll give you a quote. This is the quote. I was with somebody once and I saw a transformation I can't explain, and the entity did acknowledge what had happened.
The entity
It was a
what?
The
tranny.
entity acknowledged what had happened. So he was like, did you just... And he was like, yeah. You just turned into a reptilian for a second? Yeah. That's
Okay.
That's I assume is how you acknowledge that kind of
Can
thing.
we trust a washed up rock star who's just lost, I don't know how much money, but he has got ripped off by TNA Wrestling, hasn't he?
Twice.
I should probably say allegedly, just in case in front of that, but I'm sure he did get ripped off somehow. I'm not sure how much money's left. I'm guessing he did drugs at some point.
90s rock star. Yeah, you go for that
Or
one.
maybe it's fucking true. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, if he gets bumped off, when did he say this? This week?
Recently on the Howard Stern show, yeah. Maybe last week, possibly.
If you were...
Last week, yeah, it was
That's
last week.
reputable radio show. Howard Stern.
That's the one.
It's
More
a-
of you than Alex Jones, sir.
It's a big one. Hey, remember, we're trying during the course of this episode not to go full Alex. Never go full Alex.
That is the new show motto. Never go full Alex.
I'm pretty sure on our Halloween episode coming up shortly, I will go full Alex because fuck me, I've got an epic Halloween rant in me that comes out every year, and I always get shot down and told I'm a cynic and just it's all right. But we'll save that. Sorry, Howard Stern. It's a big show. He might not be reputable, but it's one of the most popular and longest running.
Yeah.
So I mean, Billy is either sabotaging himself or making himself. But maybe there's something in the water because have you heard the latest Joe Rogan episode?
No.
No, I watched the Alex Jones one.
Jesus Christ! Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
I've seen him,
I
know
listened to
about
that man
this,
talk for 2 hours today
Yeah.
about aliens, secret machines, and he's starting a company and
He's well into
and
it.
he's meeting all these, and he kept getting shady and saying, I can't talk about that. And Joe Rogan, like he does, is pressing him with logical questions. And he's like, oh, no. And he claims to be putting together a company and paying lots of ex-top generals and people to like make anti-gravity machines. I was like, I thought he was going to talk about when they wrote like,
the
what's
small
my
things.
age again? Yeah. 2 hours. I had to turn it off in the end because it was uncomfortable because I think I could tell.
Was his research backed up? Did Joe Rogan find the...
They found bits and bobs, but I turned it off in the end because I got
I've seen that
uncomfortable.
with Alex Jones, and everything he says is stop, because he goes
Yeah.
on wild tangents.
Yeah, Joe will
Stop.
back him up.
I want to back this up, and I was thinking, oh, this is where we're going to catch him out.
Yeah.
And time and time again, what he was saying was true, and I'm thinking,
Oh.
okay, fuck me.
That's the
Alex-
problem with Alex.
Yeah, he does tell the truth, but he does mix it with a lot of bullshit.
And I bet that's the thing. And I bet he has got CIA contacts who ring him for a laugh and tell him
Oh,
some
God,
truths
yeah.
and some daft
Hey, look,
things.
he's
I
got
would.
millions of listeners. You know,
He's giving you a slice of the pie.
yeah, and people in the deep state and that, they will use him to get their agenda out.
Do you
And
know
I
that,
hate the fact that sometimes I fucking agree with the bastard. I really do, because we were talking briefly before. I'm really confused about American politics at the moment. I do not support Trump or Nazis, but I feel sorry for your average normal American who doesn't necessarily agree, who actually wanted to vote for Trump, but he's getting like beaten over the head by like a 19-year-old in a face mask who refuses to protest, who's breaking the law by... I just can't abide by someone who's called anti-fascist. That's your name. You're breaking the law, protesting in public with your face covered, being violent, and you're making me feel sorry for Trump supporters. You're fucking idiots, and you need to shave that fucking rainbow hair off. And there is only two genders. I'm just going to say it. Fuck you. I'm so brave. And I've watched all these videos, and I'm so confused. I don't know. I just want to burn them all now. And I don't think that's the right side to be on.
No, that's Kim Jong-un's side.
Yeah.
Can I just say, the way you were waving your arms around and holding them aloft while you were giving that little speech made you look a lot like Hitler.
Why, thank you. He was a very powerful orator. I watched too many videos of him screaming in people's faces incoherently and like not having. It's too.
I want to give you a whole counter argument to this, but this will tie up the entire episode if I do. So
I'm going to link.
I'll just say that you're on about the US politics. Basically, they've got a choice between the Conservative Party, which is the Democratic Party, or the Republicans, which is like UKIP on fucking steroids. I mean, that is basically their choice.
But you can't. It's such a huge country that it's impossible.
The majority are actually independent.
This is what's so ridiculous about it. To go like of that whole country, there's only 2 teams.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on a team. Both teams are cunts. I've watched the video. Both teams are fucking cunts.
That's the problem.
And I'm glad I'm not over there. Like, and I know like
if you are in America, I'll say, and you are left wing, go to the Justice Democrats webpage. Because they actually want to change.
And stop screaming and being violent. Have a chat with someone.
No, be violent because some of them are genuinely Nazis and they deserve to be punched. In my opinion, allegedly. In my opinion,
you can't go around calling yourself anti-fascist though, and like wearing masks and being violent and a bit fascist.
A gas mask.
Well, they're dicks and they're pussies.
He was stabbing Nazis. That was all right though.
And I'm sorry, I don't. Like, I watched and check out the Squatting Slav on YouTube. He's fucking amazing. He was just asking normal, sensible questions, and no one could answer him.
That's because he's a 200-pound Russian man.
Yeah, but that's what was hilarious about it.
I'd be quite nervous around the gut
and
that size.
They're protesting against racism, and somebody literally looks at him and goes, "Your Russian accent is making me nervous." And he's like, "Oh, for fuck. Well, I'm sorry." You know what I mean? Come on. And anyway, I'm just feeling a little bit embattered, as you know. I am the evil devil, and I'm the white male, cisgendered white male. Don't you know?
Cisgendered.
That's what I am, apparently.
How's that work then?
I don't know. There's all these new categories, isn't there?
Is that just because you only think you've got one gender?
Apparently, yeah. I'm a straight white male who's old. Apparently, yeah. Remember, I can't remember.
We're all one anyway. Let's move on.
No, we're not. I can't remember if we had this conversation. This is the last thing I said. Did we have this conversation at the beer festival or on the podcast? Right. I knew the world would stop making sense to me at some point. I just didn't think it would be in my early to mid 30s. I thought it would be when I'm 60. I'm 34 and I feel fucking obsolete and confused and completely out of the loop.
That's the way you're meant to feel, mate.
Oh God.
That's the way they want it.
I see, and it's only since doing the podcast. I used to listen to the radio all day in the van. It drove me bananas. It drove me insane. I was ranting all the time when I got home from work. Like talk radio all day, 5 right phone-in shows, just being bombarded with people's opinions.
You can't go wrong with a bit of football 606 though. I mean, you was good for the nutter on that.
I actually changed to talk sport for a while. But then anyway, to cut a long story short, I discovered podcasts, stopped listening to the news completely, and only listened to basically entertainment and reviews and just happy shit. And I was so much happier. But since doing the podcast, and I'm not blaming you two, but
I feel like you are attaching some blame.
No, it's just the different videos I've ended up watching, and again being exposed to, and it has changed. I'm too sensitive to that shit, I think. Like, that's why my friend Lee literally he's like going to take my phone off me. I'm sat at his house. I should be socialising, and I'm watching riot videos. Like, yeah.
Well, the world is falling apart.
Oh, so am I.
Did Billy Corgan see a reptile?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to bring this down on a
It was my fault, Mike. Sorry. I needed to get this off my chest.
Did Billy Corgan see a shape-shifting record Illuminati producing?
At this point, I'll fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Alright, chalk that one up for Billy.
Right. Okay, I have a news story, and then we'll get on to this week's meaty subject.
I have.
Go on then.
Do you remember a couple of episodes ago I talked about the staring man? The one who could you could gaze at you and you felt Bracco and you feel this sense of peace. Well, now he's back.
What does he do now?
He's said to have cured everything from PTSD to fucking cancer by looking at you.
Oh man. Well,
that's what the world's come to. That's how fucked things are. No, you imagine, right? You go to the NHS, right? You think, oh man, I've got this fucking cough. I'm coughing up blood. Doctor diagnosed you cancer. No, sorry, mate. We've got this blood to come and look at you for a bit. You'll be all right.
No,
you sit behind a curtain for 10 minutes. Some guy stares at you and you go.
Yeah.
I'd rather Billy Corrigan come and see me, whatever his name is.
I'm guessing it's the placebo effect there.
I'm guessing.
You're guessing.
I'm guessing someone's just lying to try and make some money, and he's a goddamn false prophet. That's what it boils down to. He'll be saying he's Jesus next.
Oh man, fuck that guy.
Well, shank him.
This is my news story, and I haven't read it through. I've just saved it and bookmarked it based on the headline, and this is a doozy. Physicist claims travelling back in time creates doppelgangers that annihilate each other.
So that means that one day some dude me from the future
version of
me would have a distinct advantage over present me. I'd imagine future version of me would at least be part cyborg.
Okay, so
with lasers.
I'll give you a brief little bit of it then. Yeah. It is well known and not controversial that you can time travel to the future by just travelling quickly in a spaceship and coming back. Professor Robert Nemiroff of Michigan Technological University told the Daily Mail.
I have actually heard that.
That's
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you travel at a certain speed.
But has anyone tested this?
The closer you travel to
you can't get that fast.
In their spaceship.
It's all theoretical.
The closer you travel to the speed of light.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've literally just
the slower the Earth. Time on Earth is going because you're travelling near light and the Earth is receiving that light slower.
If you go around a black hole,
when you come back, everyone on Earth will be older than you.
Yeah. Right. So
that's
boom. Boom.
Literally what
Science
he says.
bomb.
The closer one goes to the speed of light.
Time is relative. Time is relative.
Look.
Theory of relativity.
Let me have it.
Time is relative. So time, you experience time relative to where you are. If they put a clock on an airplane. Yeah. They put the airplane. The airplane went around the world, came back, and there was a difference in time between the two clocks. The time on the plane had sped up because it was going faster than the time on the clock on land.
That's exactly what I just said. So give him a science crown.
I am. I'm backing you up.
Okay, back to the doppelganger.
Pass me the science crown. There we go.
For this thought experiment, Nemiroff assumed that faster than light travel is in fact possible. In his scenario, a spaceship launches from Earth, travel at 5 times the speed of light to a planet about 10 light years away, and then returns home to the approximate location of the liftoff site.
It sounds like a maths question.
He then determined exactly what would happen if his feat were achieved, and found that 2 ghostly ships would be spontaneously created during the act of time travel. The only solutions we could find involved these strange pairs of travellers popping up into and out of existence, said Nemiroff. Not going to lie, I'm lost already. We speculated that one member of this pair must have a strange type of negative mass, while the other has normal positive mass. So it's like Red Dwarf, angels and demons, whereas
the
good version and the
evil
version.
Yeah. So there's a good
matter and antimatter.
I like to think there's a good version and evil version of me just travelling around trying to kill me.
They do say
which one are you?
You don't want to know.
They do say for every bit of matter there's an antimatter.
For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction.
You're not having a science crown.
Science. You're not having a science party hat.
You can have a little badge.
Oh, thank you. A sticker. A science sticker.
Little Bunsen burner.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure when you've heard my theories on the Men in Black, you will in fact award me a science throne of shit.
Einstein's old toilet.
My last bit of news.
It'd probably be quite fucking valuable, actually, Mike.
Hey, the letter went for 1.5 million, wasn't it?
Holy shit! What, the letter where he tells his wife exactly how to behave like a fucking animal? Have you ever heard that?
The letter in where he's...
No! Einstein was a dick!
Really?
I'm sorry, but he's fucking great at science, but there's all these letters where he's writing to his wife, like, giving her all these commands of, like, you will not talk at the dinner table.
Well, it was
You
a
will not
different
talk.
time back then. They spoke back. They're gonna slap to the chops.
I'm sure it was
Better
ice
time,
cream.
was it, Mike? Is that what you're saying? A simpler time and a better time? In for a bit of domestic abuse, are you?
I decided
You
to
sick
point
bastard.
out that Mike and I are currently single. Oh yeah, hang on, I didn't say it was alright to slap his wife.
Oh, it's never funny.
No.
No, $1.5 million. It was a letter, and it was saying the key to happiness.
Was it doing a
But what is the key to happiness?
Not talking to the DJ.
Doing as you're fucking told.
I didn't bid on it. I didn't win it. I don't know. I think there was something they said.
You mean he was going for auction? You never at least a cheeky bid in.
Did no one do a
no one's gonna
screenshot?
back- Hey?
No one do a screenshot of it.
No, I think they said that it was something about leading a modest life.
That sucks.
Is the key to
I don't know,
happiness.
we live pretty modestly, to be fair, don't we? Well, I don't know actually. There's
Very
nothing
modest.
modest about me, baby. God, there's lots of modest things about me.
Stop trying to pull women over the podcast.
Hey! That's all I ever do. Try.
And I'll briefly say about Trump. The only thing that he's done so far that I like, that I've heard about, is he's planning to allow the opening of long classified files on JFK,
Well,
which were released today. What's the date today? The 27th of October,
2017.
2017. They were released today. Thank God for the new year.
Well, they
Yeah,
were going to be released anyway, and Trump just took the credit,
yeah, but
as Trump does.
it was meant to be last night, but it was meant to be yesterday released, and various security agencies hadn't given the memo of the documents they definitely didn't want released by last night. They were still basically sifting through stuff, trying to figure out what they didn't want to get out, which says to me that, you know, someone else or other than
It's
Lee
like the
Harvey
UFO
Oswald
files
shot Kennedy.
They'll release all the shit that don't mean nothing, and keep all the stuff back that is actual proof.
Yeah, but I really like the Kennedy assassination, and one day I hope to be alive and the truth does come out. Because it's going to be like 100-year sort of thing, hasn't it?
I know the truth.
It was the comedian.
No. You know who it was? Honestly, my
Oh,
opinion.
right.
I may have said this before, but this is my honest opinion. And this isn't a joke.
Oh, right,
This
okay.
isn't-
I was meant to
I'm
a
not-
joke. Go
I'm
on.
not setting up a punchline. My honest opinion, just briefly, I believe an agent in the car behind. I think Oswald had a pop. I think an agent in the car behind got a bit jumpy, and he popped off a shot by accident, or maybe two. I don't know how guns work, but like,
So it wasn't an extra shooter behind the grassy knoll.
no, I honestly think when they're never, and I honestly think it's such an embarrassing, ridiculous mistake that they're never going to come out and go, yeah, Agent Chuckle Fuck.
No,
I know,
Agent
you watch-
fucking
I can't
Chuckle
see that.
Fuck
You
in
watch-
the car behind.
You can go onto YouTube and watch the Zapruder film, and it was
Seen it, man.
the footage they didn't know about basically until later. It wasn't actually included in the Warren Commission report, and you
Most
clearly,
of that hasn't come out in this dump, has it?
but you clearly see the head going back. It's filmed from the side. You see a
Yeah.
single shot. He goes forward,
Didn't-
then he goes back.
You
I
actually
heard
see
though,
his
but-
wife get on the back and start scooping
Yeah,
his
I've got
brains.
there's
yeah.
theories about that. I did hear somebody say, I didn't watch the videos myself, but I heard someone say there on YouTube that apparently you can shoot something from the back and still have it ricochet backward towards you. Like
Yeah,
they
but the way this
showed it
bullet
on
behaved,
melons
you-
and stuff. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's in theory, like say you shoot the melon from this side, from the back, the bullet goes in and somehow forces make it. I don't know. He definitely got shot a few times, and I saw his head go.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I saw people say she was jumping out backwards trying to, but like you just said, Mike, she literally apparently said, "Oh, I was trying to pick up his head,
Yeah.
bits of his head,"
That's
like
what it
because
looked like to me.
people say that her jumping out that way, back over the back, is evidence of fire coming in from that direction. But like she says, no, I wasn't thinking of that. I was trying to save his brain. She's
Yeah.
obviously out of her mind, completely irrational in that moment. But yeah, that is an entire probably 2-3 episodes we'll do one day, because that's one of my favourites.
Yeah, I like JFK. I'm a big fan of.
I like JFK. The guy, I learned a lot more about him fairly recently. I didn't know just how crusading he kind of was and anti-war, and how much pressure he was under from generals and
And how much
stuff.
he got to get his dick wet.
Oh yeah, legend. But I forgive him that because he was such a decent guy. And I think
a lot of
even
stress, you know.
I think even his wife, maybe I can't speak for her, but I think even she may have been like, well, he's a brilliant guy, and at least it's not coke.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, you think he wasn't on? Do you think he didn't?
Oh, he was on
dabble in,
apparently a hell of a lot of pharmaceuticals.
This is not snorting coke out of a goat's anus.
Well, we never know. I don't know. I don't think he was into all that.
I wonder if
That's why
that was in the file.
That's why they killed him off though, because he was against all them boys club type. You know, he always wasn't down for that.
He got burned, didn't he? He got burned by the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
Because they persuaded him to go in and get rid of Castro, and it failed.
And he
blew up his
swore it
face.
would never happen again to him.
Yeah.
And you know, he probably said, "Do you know what? You lot with your goat's anus and you're killing young boys. I would probably just prefer a threesome with those two wholesome-looking ladies over there, and that's what I'm going to go and do.
Yeah.
Like, kill your goats and your entire nations with your nukes." But anyway, we are
That's
massively rambling.
yeah.
My fault.
Right, should we start with Men in Black? Men in Black.
And we're not at the
And
movies.
We're going to have to
talking
talk about the movie at some point.
But I was going to say, it's not a movie review episode. We're
No.
talking about, like the kids say, IRL, in real life.
Oh, right.
Oh, shit, man, I'm so out of touch.
We've got our black Ray-Bans on. We've got our fitted suits on. And our trilby hats.
Yep.
And,
I have a cigarello.
and my flies are low.
And I think we should start the very first sighting then.
Well, should we just give a basic description, just for anyone that doesn't
Okay.
know?
Who are
Men in
the
Black
Men in Black?
claim to be, and I'll use quotation mark, government agents. They dress in black suits. They harass or threaten UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about what they've seen.
I'd add government agents / aliens.
Well, that's why I said government agents in quotation marks. They're claiming to be.
The
government
listeners
agents.
can't see that, though.
I did
Or hear
say,
it.
I actually
Oh,
did
did
say
you?
I'm using quotation marks. Yeah.
God damn it,
Yeah.
Mike. Or was
Yeah.
that me?
Is that another crone for me? Like, a grammar crone this
Well,
evening.
yeah.
I'm going to look like fucking king of everything by the end of this episode.
I wanted to be a bit more thorough, thank you very much.
Listen to what I say.
I wanted to add the other things in, but go on then, carry on.
Actually, can I get a can?
Yeah.
Seems like I just want another crown, so it seems like a good place to have a slash.
Just go and reward yourself with a can and a piss.
And we're back. Huzzah.
Lindy.
Men in Black.
So every time you say it, I just want to break into sing a fucking goddamn song.
Basically, UFOlogists in the 50s and 60s adopted a very conspiratorial mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they began to fear they'd be subject to organised intimidation in retaliation for discovering, quote, the truth of the UFOs.
Mm.
Yes, because it's only UFO researchers or UFO encounters. Is that a word?
Encounters?
People
Don't
who
look at
encounter
me.
UFOs.
Witnesses?
Yeah, that'll do. It's only them that allegedly have seen the Men in Black, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
because
seems to
they're
be surrounding aliens or UFOs, basically.
Yeah. They don't pop up for people who've seen fairies.
No.
People
No,
still see fairies?
So Arthur Conan
Yeah, I
Doyle
think-
believed in fairies.
Yeah, but he was
Yeah, I think once modern photography sort of, I don't
There
know.
was that famous picture, wasn't there?
Well,
Year
yeah,
20th century.
well,
Now
in
you can
cottage-
analyse those
yeah.
photos and
Cottage
see that they're
fairies or
done.
something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but using modern technology, you can.
It was all faked, but Conan Doyle believed it.
Yeah, but he believed in a lot of stuff. Spiritualism,
He was, yeah.
for one. That's bollocks. So yeah, but basically, the UFO people were paranoid. And that does tend to happen with conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, but just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
Yeah.
You could be really stoned.
Alright, I got the first one I could find was 1947, Harold Dahl.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Fusion sound.
He claimed he was warned not to talk about his alleged UFO encounter by a man in a dark suit.
He saw 6 donut-shaped objects in the sky, apparently.
Did he?
Yeah.
Donuts.
Did this guy describe them, or was it John Keir who gave a detailed description? What did this guy say they look like?
Well, I've got a description from a guy called Herbert Hopkins, I think, from what you said.
Dr. Herbert Hopkins.
Dr. Herbert Hopkins. And...
It was in Maine in 1971.
Did you get that they are...
Yeah,
Well, give us the description, Gaz, and then also what Dr. Hopkins says.
Well, what I heard was, Mr. Keel, the guy who wrote the Mothman Prophecies, was getting a lot of hassle from guys in black suits. Oh, well, just getting hassle on the phone, his phone being tapped, things like that. Anyway, he described them as being, and he's not the only one to describe them this way, as being taller than average, very pale skin, no hair, no eyebrows, no facial hair, no eyelashes, overly large black eyes.
Pink lips.
Well, lipstick, some people claim to be wearing.
Yeah.
Almost like a really bad, not even trying, just obviously bad wig that seemed like it was attached to the trilby hat they were wearing.
I've seen a bloke done dirty eyes too, believe it or not. Yeah.
Dark sunglasses.
Tall as well.
I said taller than average.
Yeah.
That was the first one. To have a very strange demeanour, a sort of kind of herky-jerky movement, kind of unnatural, almost like they're operating a body they're not quite familiar with, or they're a little tiny alien inside a large mechanical, a la Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And the actual alien in Men in Black as well.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Also, I read somewhere that one of them was puzzled by a knife and fork.
Yeah, and like they asked for, one of them asked, not can I have a glass of water, can I see a glass of water? And then she brought a glass of water to him, and he literally sat there and stared at the glass. And also this Mr. Keel fellow, he claimed that at the end of the interaction, the agent literally said, I have to go, my power is running low.
Wow.
And he freaked him out because they called him on the phone and asked if he could come and see him, and he's like, yeah. And this is way before mobiles or anything. And then he opens the door and the guy's already there. So how did they do that? So the guy thought, oh, there must be two of them. But yeah, I don't know if they could teleport or they had mobiles back then. So yeah, that's the description
probably.
Maybe. So the description is that there's something otherworldly and not quite right and a little bit off about these gentlemen. Oh, sometimes they wear gloves. A lot of time, there's always two. Then they refer to themselves as like in that Solway Plains incident. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
They refer to themselves as 9 and 10, don't they?
Yes, that's true.
And then what are they in the movies? J and Q.
They're all alphabetical. J and K. Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay.
Rip Van Winkle.
What's his name? Rip Torn was Zed.
Rip Torn. He's torn a few. So that's a description of what they're like. What did this the man who saw the donuts in the sky? What was his? So he saw the donuts in the sky. Then he saw the MIBs. The mids.
Harold Dahl, in the mid 1950s. Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He was the UFOologist, not the actor. I had to write that next to it. Claims he was visited by men in dark suits who threatened him and warned him not to continue his investigations. But the thing is as well, right, when I was reading, I was thinking when I was looking at these, and it's all like, do you think that they just pursued the investigations to a point where they realised it was bollocks? So they had to come up with a convincing reason.
That is a possibility.
To like go, oh, you know what, I was so close to a breakthrough, but these men in black suits turned up, threatened me, told me they'd shoot my family if I carried it on. I'm going to give it up. I'm out.
Yeah, threatened my dog. Mm. He did that thing where
keyed my car.
Yeah, you know that thing where you pretend to kick something but you don't. He did that to my dog and made him jump.
Yeah. Apparently in 1967, one of them said to a guy called Robert Richardson, "If you want your wife to stay as pretty as she is, get the metal back. The metal which was he found from a UFO. He hit a UFO with his car."
What?
Yeah.
I think you told that story back to front, Mike.
All right, I'll start again. Robert Richardson, 1967 in Toledo. He hit a UFO with his car. He took back a piece of metal.
What was his car doing? Why was he driving at 10,000 feet?
It was on the ground.
Oh, so it wasn't a UFO then, it was an unidentified driving object. It was a UDO.
Alright, so he sees what he assumes to be an alien spacecraft parked in the middle of the road. He thinks, speed up!
This fucker wants to play chicken.
Was he playing chicken when he went,
Roadhog!
Please tell me he had like a Ford Mustang. That'd make it so fucking manly. It's like, yeah, ran down a UFO in my Mustang.
I don't know where Toledo is.
Toledo.
I'm guessing America. It
Yeah.
sounds south.
American.
It sounds southern, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It's got to be
Sounds-
southern.
sounds
Any
somewhere where
American
Johnny
listeners
Cash
can have-
would sing a song about.
Yeah.
I was in Toledo. He
Actually,
took a shot at me. Something like that.
any American listeners can help us out with that.
Yeah.
Because we can't be asked to Google
I
it.
could Google it
And we
right
can
now.
plug
but
our
I'm not
Facebook
gonna.
right now. They can write on the Facebook post.
They
on
can
Facebook.
email us.
They can email us on
via
Facebook,
yeah.
which
You
is
can,
Cutting to the Bull in the post-truth apocalypse.
And if you live within I'd say a 200-mile radius and you're female, you could always inbox me. Actually, I'll rephrase that. If you're a female, animal, mineral, vegetable, space alien, fucking orc, walking tree, anything, fuck me.
You know what, the walking tree. Imagine how rough that'll be on the skin.
No, sap. I'll get it right, sapped up. Don't you doubt my sap creating abilities, Ben. It'll be like that. It'll be like that Led Zeppelin bloody squeeze my branch till the sap runs down my tree leg. I think you've noticed a running theme every week is that, Ben hates reggae. Mike's got a B in physics and a B in his bonnet about the government, and I will literally fuck anything. Like, whatever we're talking about, somehow me fucking it comes into it. One of these MIB Android
So, 9,
things.
10, you want to go for a drink?
Well, he's wearing lipstick.
All I can say is I've
Rainbow
done worse.
party round mine.
I've done worse.
You're going to join that unicorn sex cult with which might be.
Great blowjob. They look dead behind the eye.
That's how I like it.
Hey, on the last episode, I was talking about fucking my zombie wife, and it was only listening back to it that I realised that, yeah, she is just dead, isn't she?
Yeah. We were
just
like-
because she's moving.
We were imploring you not to do it.
Well, anyway.
You won't get a reputation. You're the apocalypse.
I've got a reputation. Fucking anything that moves in the pre-apocalypse, to be honest. I'll edit that bit out to any possible scenes.
Anyway, back to Toledo.
Toledo. I think it should be said.
Toledo Nights.
Oh, great film. Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
And but he lost this piece of metal, and then he was visited by two men in black, and they said to him, "If you want your wife to stay as pretty as she is, get it back."
No.
How'd you
They said,
Alright.
if you want your wife to stay, in a weird voice. But
Yeah.
so he
And
hit the
fucking his
alien
lipstick
shit.
so lips.
Alright, hang on.
Can
So-
I borrow her lips?
Maybe that's what it is. He'd steal her lipstick. Maybe the lipstick really set her off. And he thought, well, she's not as pretty now. I've taken her favourite lipstick. There you go. He's a fashion
Good job we didn't
expert.
see the dog licking his bits. He would have been able to-
Alright, so he plays chicken with the UFO, takes a piece of it, and then he must have known it was something a bit special, and he just sort of casually loses it.
Was it like when
Poker or
Homer gets the bit of plutonium stuck on his back
Yeah.
at the start? Wasn't it glowing like when he took it in the car? Did he
Yeah.
drive home 20 feet off the floor? Like something, goddamn, something's different, man.
He used one of his 8 limbs to get it on.
So they come round and they ask for the metal. Did he give him the metal back? Give them
They
the
say he
metal?
didn't have it.
I don't know what I've got on so I'm West
Don't fucking have it, you cunt.
What are you on about, fucking Benny Black cunt?
know who I am?
Can't pay,
fucking
take
Millwall.
it
Ronnie
away.
Pickering.
Ronnie
Ronnie fucking Pickering, you want your fucking metal? Fight me for the fucking metal. You fucking cunt.
You know why fucking am? I'm Ronnie Pickering.
So he said-
hang on, anyone listening who isn't familiar with Ronnie Pickering, I'm sure if you just type Ronnie Pickering,
Yeah.
pause it a second, go to YouTube, type in Ronnie Pickering.
Ben, I'm
What's
pretty
the clip?
sure we said Ronnie Pickering came up at our last
He
recording.
probably did, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I suppose I was assuming that
They listened to the last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, but it hasn't been released yet, and neither is this one. And we're fucking bending time with our words.
Exactly.
And that one will be released before this one. So when people are listening to this one, they will know that Ronnie Pickering.
I don't know if we explained it last time.
exists.
I'm sure.
Whatever he is, he's a bit of a
Anyway,
twat. Let's get on with it.
So hang on. So these
Yeah.
men in black, because they're not very good, are they? So they said, "Give us the metal," and he went,
Yeah.
"I ain't got it,
I
mate."
ain't got it, mate.
And they went,
And they
"All
said,
right,
well,
mate."
you better get it.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's
And
lost
then,
it.
then he never heard from him again.
Oh, well.
That's half-assed.
They're not very good, are they? Because this is
No.
the thing, they turn up and threaten people, but then there's no other
no
stories.
follow-through, is there?
Yeah, there's no stories of anything, even like you finding your dog with its decapitated, like in the
Your
garden or
cat
something.
crucified to your front door.
Yeah, they're not fucking. They're not very good. They're not like Will Smith in the movie, are they? They're
No.
not. In fact,
It's more intimidation, isn't it?
yeah, but then bloody can't pay will take it away. People on telly are more intimidating for anyone from another country. They're what's the real name for them?
Bailiffs.
Bailiffs. You know, if you didn't pay your bills and they come and take your stuff
What a
away.
scummy job.
Yeah, I know. I hate them
That
people.
is the
Mike.
worst
Yeah.
fucking job.
Because they all think they're fucking. Oh man,
No.
I despise them.
Anybody defending the corporate fucking structure.
I hate them. But like, yeah, but my point is, they're more intimidating. Like, bouncers at nightclubs are more intimidating, and like, these guys come round, act all weird, which, yeah, must be a bit off-putting, a little bit freaky, but it'd be even more freaky if they turned up the next day and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
You know,
what
bounced
they
your
did-
head off your computer.
Stop talking to the UFO and punch me in the face, then I'd probably take a lot more notice of that than just...
With their metal hands.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like, losing teeth, like, yeah, literally picking up your own teeth in
I you
shock.
say that, but they've always been successful, haven't they? Because whoever they terrorised, you know, they've always stopped, haven't they?
Maybe that shows the limits of our tiny little minds, Ben. All we
Yeah.
can think of is violence, but maybe they're operating on like some sort of signal comes off. Just
Yeah.
being in their presence is
Yeah.
enough.
Maybe it's the fake skin and
Well,
you know,
yeah.
the no eyebrows and the...
Yeah.
I've been freaked out by a human before who made me uncomfortable or something, but like, if try to genuinely imagine that now actually happening, you'd probably all sorts of
Yeah.
senses would be going off. You'd feel
6'8".
Oh, yeah, seven
Skin is that
foot.
real? What's wrong with that? You know, when you look, but you don't want to look, but you can't help. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And then it talks in a weird voice, and it's like, "You will stop the podcast." And I'm like, probably will.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick him in the balls.
Yeah, but then I go, "Kung!" You're like, "What the fuck? Your poor wife." Deadpool. You know, or even if it's not a metal dick, and like it is an actual alien, and its dick's on its knee, like in Star Trek. In that Star Trek.
I always have to cover all bases and launch myself at him.
It's huge.
I'm going in like I came in, kicking and screaming.
Hang on. How come whenever I say I'm going to beat up Jesus, you guys have always got lots of very, very logical and obvious answers as to why I couldn't beat up the little fucking hippie. But you can take down 6'8" android alien men in black government agent killer professional people.
Quick knee to the happy sack,
Ah,
mate. Everyone drops.
Jesus, hello!
Yeah, but he's coming back in 3 days.
I'd still beat him in a fist fight. Anyway, so Mike, read something up your sheet.
Get us with some knowledge, Mike.
Well, we'll leave Toledo, 'cause that's all I've got on that. And we're heading to New Jersey now in 1968.
Do you mean New
No,
Jersey?
Jersey.
Home of Bon Jovi. Even though he thinks he's a cowboy. Fucking
Yeah.
hate you, Bon Jovi. Sorry, Mike.
What the fuck is Bon Jovi?
Hey,
When was that
Don't
ever?
fucking knock Bon Jovi.
No, I mean, no, I'm gonna like. Like,
Okay.
when was that ever like? Do you know what I mean? Did he? Who gets together and goes like what the fuck is who like what? I can't even speak because I'm trying to get to it. So they got together and they're like, hey man, let's form a band. What kind of stuff are you into? Oh, you know, kind of big, kind of shouty along, kind of Bon Jovi type. You know.
Well, then,
Oh, yeah, that type.
Can't use Bon Jovi. for
Exactly.
example.
What is that? Because even other hair metal bands don't sound like that. They like sound less Bon Jovi. I don't know. What is it?
Stadium rock, isn't it? It's like
I
more.
guess.
It's like mainstream stadium rock. You had like your Def Leppard, who was a slightly more
Aerosmith.
metal.
But
Slightly
even they're
more
all a
rock.
bit more sleazy and a bit. Even them, aren't they?
Yeah.
For-
Well, you know, because Bon Jovi, they have got quite a wide range of material. I mean, it does go from quite soft rock to, you know, to quite heavy rock.
Or heavy. I'd go heavy mainstream.
Well, whatever. We're not here
I
to
always
discuss
think of
Bon
Living on a Prayer if you say Bon Jovi, which I guess is a pretty good song though. I like the whole, you know,
My favourite song's Hey God.
don't know it.
in all fairness, a couple of the early songs are okay.
Keep the Faith, you know, Blaze of Glory. There's some
Yeah,
classics
yeah.
there.
So
man.
I do like the old Blaze of Glory when what's his face was around the building. Blaze
One
Blaze
Dead
of Young
Alive.
Guns 2.
Reggae bad, Blaze of Glory good.
Young Guns 2. It fit the scene.
I like the movie, yeah, but
It fit the scene. It's fucking. what's his name? Out of 24.
do you know what? I found being
Cowboy
biased.
Rock, man.
Yeah, but he's not the point is he's not a cowboy. He's a fucking Jersey.
Yeah, but can you sing in a Jersey? Like, Jersey, they kind of talk. No, they don't. That's kind of New York. But
Just think of The Sopranos. That's Jersey.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen The Sopranos. Oh, fuck it.
There's so many things that are going to, over the course of this podcast, honestly, it's shocking how many things. I was thinking today, I was listening to a Dan Aykroyd interview, and do you know what I realised? Never seen the Blues Brothers.
Wow.
I've seen it, but I didn't really like it.
Oh, because it's one of
I'll
them
be
things that
honest.
everyone seems to be like.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
I've honestly lied and said I pretended that when someone's talking about a scene, I've honestly gone that
You
thing where you go,
normally
yeah, that bit, yeah, mate, yeah, I know that bit, yeah, because it's one of them. No, I'm not seeing the Blues Brothers.
Everyone knows the scenes. I don't think that's a thing.
But all those songs were famous before that bloody film, weren't they? It's from the 80s, that film, isn't it? And they're just singing old soul songs that I know anyway.
I've actually seen the second one and it is awful.
I'm a soul man.
Has it got Lou Diamond Phillips in it?
You're obsessed. You're his one fan. Have you ever looked up for it? Is he on Facebook or Twitter or anything? He'd love to hear from you, Mike. I've seen all your films.
I've seen them all.
I've seen
And
Young
I've
Guns.
jigged off to everyone.
Okay.
Swiftly moving on.
Go on then, take us to Jersey.
Yeah, I've done this.
Yeah, sorry about the Bon Jovi band.
A UFO researcher called Jack Robinson, and apparently he was terrorised for 3 days by men in black, and they used to stare at him from across the road. And
Is that it? Is that
Yeah.
terrorising?
apparently,
I mean, like, if they were staring at me, if I knew there were government agents staring at me from across the road, I would not wear clothes in my house.
That's all.
I'd give them a fucking reason to stare.
yeah.
I'd toy with them, man. You got to, haven't you? There's nothing wrong.
And then we go to May in 1971. This is Dr. Herbert Hopkins,
Yeah, I've got him.
and he received a phone call from someone claiming to be another UFO researcher.
That's correct.
And he put the phone down, he put the porch light on, and there was a knock at the door.
Wow.
And it was the same guy. This was the era before mobile phones.
Would they have had... What year
But they're
was
all
this?
dressed the fucking same, so if there's
I assume that he had the same voice.
yes.
What year was it? Sorry?
1971.
Would they have had a very primitive car phone?
Unlikely, I think.
The top government guys, would they have had a sat phone
I
in their
don't know,
car?
but their voices
Maybe.
sound the same because
Well,
they all.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
Anyway, you can take it from here, Ben. You've got
Um,
me, I think.
Well, hang on, they all sound the same because they've all got the same
Voice
unit,
box.
the same voice
Yeah.
box, same model.
It's the voice box 800.
Yeah, if one of them was created a few years earlier, maybe we'd have a slight variation in
The
tone.
same
But then they
cherry
upgrade.
blossom lipstick.
Yeah, no, they don't. But do you know why I think they've got shit lipstick on and shit wigs? Because they're responsible for doing that themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's some government, another human agent going, I'll make you look human. That android's gone out and made an approximation.
Oh, it's
to-
Android, is he?
well, what's the...
Android/alien/government spy.
Well, it could be all three.
It could be.
Uh,
An alien.
An alien
A
operating an
cybernetic
android
alien.
suit. It could be a remote control suit, like Iron Man. I was going to say a la Iron Man, but I realised I've said a la and then something about 4 times so far. A bit like Delboy, like that's my new thing.
As long
that
as
I've
you're not going
just-
to say Allah Akbar, I have no fucking
Well,
issues.
it depends.
It's a trap.
You're not looking fat, so I assume that you're not wearing some kind of belt
Well,
or vest under that t-shirt.
I may have a vest on, you know. But, you know.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like dynamite.
It's not a bummy vest, though. Well, what was that
I
about?
can't see any Arabic writing on your tattoos or.
No.
Why are we talking about Arabs? I'm so lost.
Because I said, I hope as long as you don't say Allah Akbar,
Oh, yeah.
that's
It
what
means,
suicide
and
bombers
what-
got his grave.
Yeah, but what was I about? I
You
just
said
fell down a
Allah,
massive
you said
pothole.
Allah.
Oh, yeah, fuck me,
I've been saying Allah a lot, so as long as you say Akbar, I
I
don't
just
mind.
fell into the biggest pothole. I was suddenly like, why am I talking about my vest? Like, no. Not wearing a vest.
Anybody been watching the new series of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No.
No, I've never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't find it particularly funny. No.
Well, at the moment he's got a fatwa on him. Because he wanted to produce Fatwa the musical, and apparently the Ayatollah didn't like it.
I think Ben's going to end up with one of them. Man. By the time we're at episode 50, he's going to be kicked out of every single internet group there is, and put on all the lists, all the countries.
Yeah.
You're not on any lists, are you, Ben?
No, I'm not present. I'm just abandoned from the flat Earth.
But do you ever worry though about like all the sort of FBI things and all the stuff you end up Googling? Do they just see us, does their algorithm just have us in that, yeah, he's one of them conspiracy people, like, that's what they tend to Google, he's fine. At what point does it then tip over to the, he's planning an attack, like, sort of thing? Do you know what I mean? Because I've looked up every major terrorist incident, all the bombings, all the riots, all the different groups on either side, you know, a lot of Googling. Like, do worry.
So when you start buying ammonia and
when you literally start stockpiling fertiliser and compost.
One of our podcasting brothers, well, I say that they're way
probably
more
on some lists,
way more successful than us, but we're all podcasters, you know. Those conspiracy guys, they're having some trouble at the moment. Gordo's getting really pissed with YouTube censorship and basically his Sandy Hook
demonetisation.
Yeah, and his Sandy Hook video being taken down, and then him having to go through all the community guidelines things, and basically people who disagreed with them. You're not allowed to talk about Sandy Hook, basically.
Right.
You're definitely not allowed to say the words flag, false, hook, and Sandy in a particular.
I get you. Yeah.
And yeah, so they're being basically censored by YouTube, which sucks. And some people's theories are that a lot of these, and I'm going to say, look, I'm not a Trump guy, but I do hate some of these sort of Uber. A lot of these YouTube, I imagine, is a company run by fairly young people. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a lot of
Google, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't imagine there to be a lot of 70-year-old men in the, you know,
They
making decisions.
They hire Indians and people from Far East Asia, to trawl through the videos and censor the ones that they don't want.
Because this is my saying, though, somebody is in charge of what is allowed on YouTube and isn't. So
and this fake news,
which is pissing me off, because they should be. Why can't you have the opinion?
It's perfect for them to clamp down on any voices.
Because it used to be free. Freedom. It used to be, finally, there was somewhere where it wasn't somebody else's agenda. If you wanted, you could have found whatever opinion.
In the old days, you wanted to get some news out, you know, you'd have to print leaflets and then distribute them yourself. Or,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But now you can go on the internet and you can upload anything.
And that's what always fucks me off, you know, is when you like, someone shares so-and-so's video, and it's just some bloke ranting about it.
Well, we're just three blokes ranting.
Yeah, but I'm not videoing myself giving out twattish opinions.
Yeah, you're recording yourself giving out twattish opinions.
No, when am I giving a twattish opinion?
Mate, you can't say that and then be doing a podcast. You've got to say...
No, but like, it's usually some racist little rant about how poppies are being vilified.
I think I know what but you're more on about, Ben, how, like, let's say it's just somebody spouting something that isn't necessarily factual, it's opinion based. Then it gets spread around, but everyone's spreading it as if it is
That's
factual.
what I'm talking about,
but it isn't. Anybody who's got any kind of he is, like you say, Mike, just one of us in a fucking...
Like the fake news thing. They're doing it on purpose to push an agenda.
I just don't think YouTube should censor anyone.
No,
well, exactly. No, hang on. No. There's got to be certain...
I think anything that incites hate or violence... Like we do in this country. I mean, I know America go on about their freedom of speech, but they can have. I mean, in the 30s, they had mass KKK rallies, millions of people in Washington, saying "burn and hang the black men." Now, that can't be a good thing to have in your society. I think anything that promotes hate or violence, that is the stuff you're going to stop.
Antifa promote hate and violence.
Well, there we go then.
This is my problem. I don't like Trump, but I don't like them.
So we're supposed to all sit around and play the ukulele and fucking somewhere over the rainbow.
I can sit there and criticise the government and criticise whatever I want. I would never say, go out and hurt somebody. I think that's the difference. I think you've got to...
Unless it's Jesus, you could punch him.
What a...
Or Billy Corgan.
Or
I'm thinking about it, and the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm liking it. Yeah.
yeah, but just to wrap that little tangent up then, yeah, it's just a shame that we've had 10 years of sort of podcasting as a thing, and it's been this medium that has been untouched really. You've been allowed to say whatever you want without worrying, but now it is starting to affect, people are starting to be censored on the fucking
just because
internet.
they mention a topic, well, that's bollocks.
Certain
isn't it?
Topics that they don't want discussed.
That's bollocks. I mean, because you've got to discuss these things, or like 9/11. I mean, you can't just sit there, take the official truth, and just accept it and shut up like good little people. You can't.
That's
Well,
it.
isn't that how freedom of speech
Of
works?
course it
We
is.
should be allowed, but they're finally cutting on that this information does spread quicker than
Yeah.
they can spread information. I would wager, this is based on nothing, this is pure fucking speculation, that among sort of our demographic, people like us guys sat here who are a little bit alternative, into the internet, that sort of thing, probably listen to more podcasts and alternate media than actual fucking mainstream. Like, I'm only exposed to mainstream news and that by sort of accident or proxy really, if I'm in somebody else's home or it's on in the background somewhere, a public place sometimes, the telly will be on in the background. But for the most part, everything, I don't hear what the major things have to say, and I bet that's why they're cracking down on it, I guess, because
Of course.
you know,
it's
podcasts
ideas are dangerous, aren't they?
yeah, podcast rule, we're fighting the power. Please let us back on iTunes.
Have we sorted that yet?
No, but I have a suggestion after when we finish
I think we
recording.
start a bit earlier Sunday
Um,
and come
yeah.
and get it.
So,
get the email sent off to them.
Mr. Apple, I like to
We're-
think of
we're
myself
edit
as a
this
bit of a
part,
rebel, a bit of an artist. You know, I've written a few things, a few anti-authoritarian things, but I would gladly suck your corporate cock, guzzle it down, balls deep, if you let us back onto your rather important and some might say monolithic platform. Did I say? No, I meant magnificent platform. Magnificent.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
that's the subject.
Back to Herbert Hopkins.
Herbert Hopkins. So
Herbert!
Dr. Herbert Hopkins.
You little Herbert.
Some guy comes to the door, he comes in.
Oh yeah.
He informs Hopkins there are 2 coins in his pocket. He says to
I know
Hopkins,
this
2
story.
coins in your pocket, and there was.
Mm-hmm.
He instructed to hold one out in his hand. The coin took on a silvery appearance, went out of focus, and then vanished. And the guy was told the coin wouldn't be seen on this plane again.
I like that.
Obviously, Hopkins was extremely shaken.
As you would
He
be.
burned all the files, and he had repeated phone troubles after, as the phone company actually said the line had been tampered with. So
It had been split, hadn't it? They
Yeah.
could see it from there. Well, you would freak out. Oh, hang on. Magicians can make coins disappear.
they can.
And
So can aliens, apparently.
I don't really like magicians.
I'm sure I've seen David Copperfield disappear an elephant or something.
But this is what I don't like magicians, because
That was an illusion.
I don't get it and I can't work it out, and it upsets me. I'm not one of these people that's like, wow, you're so clever. No, I'm like, fuck you. How did that disappear? I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Fuck off. Even card tricks, I have
Some
no
of the shit that
I can't conceive of how it's happening, and it upsets me.
you know there's a logical explanation.
Yeah, there has to
there.
be, but I don't know it.
See,
You don't
I've got
know
no
it.
inkling.
Yeah. It's
I-
a right
I-
head fuck, innit?
Yeah.
I prefer the Darren Brown kind of magic.
Oh, mentalists.
Because
I love that.
I know that basically it's
admits-
him training himself to do. I mean, he did.
He's very open as well. He's
Yeah.
like, I am doing a trick,
I saw
and
this-
then
I
does
saw
it
this
to
one
you.
where he was at a racetrack.
Yeah.
And he had a ticket and it had lost. And he said, right, this is
Convinced
how
her,
you...
didn't he?
Convinced her that it was a winner. Because I saw it's lost. Look again, I think you'll find it's won.
Yeah.
And she gave him the money.
It's just
He won
psychology.
about 800 quid,
Yeah,
didn't he? Just
yeah.
off losing tickets. They banned him from every racetrack in the country.
It's psychology. Well, yeah, he is literally not allowed in. He's not allowed in casinos.
He's not allowed at racetracks.
Yeah, but it's all psychological and
Yeah.
sleight of hand. And I love Darren Brown. Really like him.
Yeah.
Read all his books. He's a super intelligent guy.
Yeah, he's very clever.
Um,
I mean, the one thing I always remember the one scene skit I saw him do was he'd memorised the A to Z of London in something like 8 months, and apparently that takes cabbies 20 years. You've got to have like 20 years driving in London experience with an effective black cab driver. And he did it in 8 months, and he didn't do it by reading over and over again. He did it by the grid references in the back, in the index.
There's methods. It's like somebody can remember pi to 1,000,000.
Yeah,
well,
but even so, and he got people to shout out random grid references.
Yeah,
and he would like, that's Greenwich.
Yeah, that's mental mapping, isn't it?
That's what it is. But he admits that. And you think, fuck me, it's a magic trick to a degree. But he's very open to the fact he has just trained himself to do it. That's our point. So I like his.
Did you see the Russian roulette one live?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
that was freaky, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it'd be. I just thought. I don't know if this is a shit metaphor, but it's kind of the equivalent of, it's perfectly possible to do, to lift a weight like this, but
I try not to though.
To lift 1,000-pound weight like that, some people can do it. Some people can do it 10 times in a row.
Oh yeah.
But we couldn't. It's just the same thing with his brain. Like, those things are capable, conceivably, in your mind, but it's just you haven't sat and done the reps and the gym work on you. So yeah,
he's got 20 years as a mentalist.
Of trying, dedicating. You've got to respect that.
I've got 16 years as a warehouse operative.
It's a skill, isn't it?
But I bet you can outdrink the fucker.
Oh god, yeah.
I bet you can make a cardboard box quicker than he can.
Hey,
pretty good, yeah.
I don't know actually.
I tell you what, forklift driving. I keep round that assault course.
There you go.
Backwards.
Backwards and forwards.
Yeah, but then you'd come in the next day and he'd be doing it with a blindfold on and a gun in his mouth.
if I hit the thing,
and then the gun goes up, and he just practiced for a couple of hours that night.
You just type the pedal if he goes below 2 miles an hour.
Oh my god! Imagine forklift speed.
Ben's just
if I drop below 4 kilometers an hour, that forklift will explode.
You're like, Darren, no one is watching while you're doing it. Just to prove it to you, Ben. Just to prove I can.
The battery's on 23%.
He's such a fucking show.
Fucking cunt.
And then your boss is like, Ben, office please. Have a word.
You're fired.
I've seen what's capable with a forklift. He made less mistakes than you. He was blindfolded.
Had a gun tied to his testicles. That's effort. Are you willing to match that effort? No, boss. The fuck out.
No, I'm not.
I'm not going to lose my love spuds for this company or any other.
I'd love to get high. No, actually, I was about to say I'd love to get high with Darren Brown. I actually fucking wouldn't. We'd jump out the window, wouldn't we?
I reckon he can destroy people.
Oh yeah.
He can turn you into a gibbering vegetable. I mean, I'm not faulting myself anyway.
Would you challenge him? What are you doing?
No, it doesn't much to me in the end.
So that's what happened.
Would you like to hear another MIB story about a man with an amusing name?
Just before we start that one though, to wrap up the last one, so the MIB did a fucking magic trick basically, and yet another thing that might creep you out, but he could have sent it to another plane of existence if he's got those sort of interdimensional capabilities. I would imagine if you can send yourself interdimensionally, then surely you could send a small object.
Piece of piss.
I wonder if I could send my knob.
Why would you want to separate your knob?
Actually, I haven't thought that through.
You really didn't.
I thought I could be like...
So your knob's in another dimension having a much better time than you, and you can still feel all the sensation, but you're just sat here on your sofa like, that fucking knob, he's in the Playboy mansion, in the Playboy dimension.
I really got to think these things through first.
Mike, you are never going to be in charge of organising one of my birthday parties, okay? Oh, I'll get Gaz stabbed.
My blood dressed his teeth.
Yeah, he'll have an ace time. That was a good one.
Yeah. Were we summing it up?
I was trying to say that it would be easy to send a coin to another dimension, and then Mike just decided to turn into a fucking masochist.
I was thinking, but I could be sitting here while my mom's having a good time somewhere.
Why wouldn't you want to be with it? Enjoying it together.
Quantum entanglement. I can still feel the sensation. I'd be sat over the smug smile on my face.
Does that mean we see a cum face?
We're just sat here trying to watch the TV. Oh God! Mike's legs goes up in the air. Oh God! Shit. So yeah, the aliens, the MIB guy could have been just doing a magic trick to fuck with.
We need a pause here, I think.
Yeah.
Mike needs to go and find his dick.
Oh, it's gone.
I've lost it somewhere.
I'm back.
We are back.
Alright.
I thought I was going to do a funny joke then, but I got the lyrics to the song wrong. I was going to launch into the Men in Black rap, but I got the first line wrong, so never mind.
Here comes the Men in Black.
Well, that's the chorus.
Ah,
isn't
shit.
it? I was singing of the... Anyway, the good guys do dress in black. Remember that.
Yeah,
So,
apparently so. Dr. Albert K. Bender. Yeah, it's a funny name.
I'm
A Bender.
Yeah.
I'm upset with myself for sniggering at that,
A.K.
but-
Bender. He founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau in 1955, and he prepared to unveil a paper that would prove, without doubt, that the US government had, to one degree or another, covered up UFOs.
Wow. And what did the Men in Black do to him?
They turned up, he was visited by 3 men dressed all in black. They warned him off pursuing the topic of UFOs anymore. He never recounted what was said. They left him scarred for the rest of his life.
Physically?
Apparently mentally.
Oh.
He was a changed man.
Did they do a card trick?
His later works were unreadable, and he lived in anxiety and terror.
His later works are unreadable.
Yeah, apparently
just
so.
smearing ink on them.
Just smearing his own shit on the wall. That was his work.
And he was
That'll be
just
us in 10 years' time.
here come the Men in Black.
he actually wrote the song in his own
in shit on the wall.
Picture was taken of the lyrics, and that became the song Men in Black. And you can fact check that. It's a great song, by the way.
Again, Ben's great scale. Reggae bad. Will Smith's Men in Black, great.
Anything Ben likes, great. Anything he hates, utter dog shit.
So,
That's the way it works.
Hang on, if Will Smith Men in Black is great, then what's something that, like, I don't know, like Iron Maiden?
That's awesome, isn't it?
Okay,
I got different scales within there.
I'll give you that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And great's like a very low down on the scale. Actually, if I just made something on it, I would add like a sweary adjective in before it to emphasise how good it was.
Fucking
the Blaze
was.
Bailey stuff.
Hey?
The Blaze Bailey
We
stuff.
don't talk about that.
Yeah.
No one brings him up.
Right.
I wonder where he is now.
Probably doing a Maiden tribute band, I'd imagine.
I think that is a thing, actually, ex-members.
My ex
Yeah.
actually preferred him. Can you believe
I'm
that?
glad she's your fucking I'm not going to lie, me
And
her
that's why
wouldn't
you
get along.
dumped her, isn't it, Mike?
So, imagine, I wish she was here now. I've never met her, Mike, but I'd love to say to her, so what, you go to a current Maiden gig, and in the 100,000 people in the field, you're the one stood there going, oh no, I prefer Virtual 11. I never even fucking bothered listening to that fucking album.
Virus is a great track.
Fuck off.
That made it. I've got the Best the Beast
If
album.
Bruce sings one of them live, I've heard it. Which there are a couple, isn't there?
Maybe,
Klansman and
Yeah.
Sign of the Cross, things like
Yeah,
that.
Sign of the Cross.
But
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never. I don't even know
yeah.
what Blaze Bailey sounds like.
The only one I've ever heard of is, and it's genuinely, it was on the Best the Beast album I've got,
Yeah.
which might be a very old edition, which is why it's got Blaze. And now I think they're all Bruce singing that era song live. It was a live track.
Yeah.
They've actually kind of stricken him from the record in a way.
Good.
and it's virus, and I think it's might be off Virtual 11 or yeah,
Is there a
possibly.
song called Angel and Gambler or something?
Yeah, I think that
was her favourite song.
That was Blaze. I'm sure that was Blaze, Angel and the Gambler.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Had she heard the other albums? Or she just
She was
have
a
that? I
big Maiden
suppose.
fan.
Let's
Big
imagine.
Maiden fans, you prefer Blaze Bailey? I don't know. I'm just repeating what I knew. I know it's left you dumbstruck.
I very rarely speechless.
If any fans that disagree with
I've
that,
heard
then
people-
do please mail us.
I've heard people-
I'm willing. Let's see if we can get a coalition of Blaze fans to mail us on Facebook, and
I don't want to talk to those people.
well, I'll do the correspondence.
Okay then.
And
Well, I've heard people say they
see
like.
if people do. That's
first singer
That's
first.
fair enough. Let's say Dickinson or Blaze.
That's the most pointless fucking survey in the history of the world.
Doesn't matter. I'm intrigued to know.
No.
It's gonna be if Blaze gets 30%, I'll be very surprised.
Nah. Never mind him. He'll get a visit from the Men in Black.
Anyway, this Hopkins chap, not Hopkins, so Bender, he received the Bender, Dr. A. Bender. That shouldn't be funny, but it is.
It is. It is. Accept it. It's fine.
Was reputed to have received mysterious phone calls until his death in 2002. Like people basically ringing him.
It's a little
Bit of heavy breathing. Yeah.
Can I speak to the Bender, please?
Speaking.
If I saw the name Bender in the phone book, oh, that's realistic.
You're 14 and they can't trace your call back in the days for 1471.
14?
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it now. Oh, man. So,
I've got a couple more cases. Have you got the Jim Templeton case?
no, the
Solway Firth spaceman.
I've got the Solway spaceman.
That's it. Yeah.
Should we do that one next?
Because
Okay.
that's actually got an interesting photo.
So I would say, have you seen the
seen the
photograph?
I've not heard this one.
Okay, we'll do a little bit. So anyone at home, Google Solway Firth, spell Solway, Solway Firth. That's a place in England. The Solway Firth spaceman. Images, Google Images, it's a photograph. So I'm going to show Mike. It might sound weird because I'm going over there now.
I'll take that.
So a gentleman was out on the Solway Firth taking photos, and this was in 1964, and he was a fireman and an amateur photographer. And he just took a plain photograph of his daughter out on the Firth.
Oh yeah.
Now,
It looks like a man in a NASA spacesuit.
yes, there was 3 pictures he took, and on the other 2 you can't see
He said
anything.
it looks like the back of his elbow.
That's the thing.
Looks like the back of
It's
him,
from
but
back.
with
The only way that arm could bend that way
Mm.
would be from here, like.
It looks like the
from-
back of him, but it's
so
like the face and the visor.
So I think
Yeah.
the helmet looks like it's from the front, but I think the body language says it's from the back. So anyway, if you Google that image at home, when the man developed the photo, he sees what appears to be a bloody spacesuited figure behind his daughter. And this photo, interesting, because this was a national news story.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
This was tested by Kodak at the time, and they said there's no doctoring to it, there's no splicing, or so it's some weird. It's either interdimensional slippage,
or
echoes,
her
or
uncle in a spacesuit.
no, because there was no. There are. You can see the exact. He took like, and there's the exact same image with absolutely nothing behind it, clear. So I think there's either something weird happened in the light, in the shutter, a reflection, anything could have happened. Or it could be like a future echo, an interdimensional echo. I don't know.
Could be.
Well, I'm not a scientist.
Well, he was later contacted.
Yes.
You heard about that?
Yeah, we had the Men in Black.
No.
Oh.
By 2 employees at an Australian missile testing range. Remember, this is the 60s.
Mhm.
All our missile testing was done in the outback.
Right.
They claimed that there's a photo or a video footage of a similar figure after the area around the missile launch was evacuated, stood by the missile.
Mm.
They contacted him to claim, and I'm pretty sure there is a photo or something. I'm sure I've seen it on a documentary and Tinternet. I'll try and track that down, and when this episode's released, I'll put that photo if I can find it. But we'll definitely put the Solway Firth photo up.
Yeah, I mean, there's people. I saw stuff online. There's a lot of people who claim they could debunk it quite easily. I didn't read into it because I don't want it to be debunked. To be honest with you, and there's also other people who take this as absolute, concrete, solid evidence of something weird.
I admit it's a weird picture.
It's strange,
though.
but I think I'm no expert, but I'm sure with exposure and light and the chamber, something could have. I don't know.
It could be the sun glinting off a plane makes the visor, unless it was just a cloud. Who knows? I mean,
a mystery that we'll never be able to solve. Or it could be my favourite. What I love is that either interdimensional sort of echoing, like overshadowing, or there was actually a guy with an invisibility cloak over his, or maybe loads of him.
Or it's just his uncle in a suit. They took separate photographs with him there, with him not there. I don't know.
I don't think anyone think.
Well, I would have said that straight away. I mean, it does look like there's someone standing there.
Other people don't think it's a spaceman, or other people like it's clouds. You fucking idiots!
Is it? So look again.
I think clouds.
Oh, hang on a minute. Nah, that looks like a shape of a man.
It does, but clouds look again. It's pareidolia. Maybe your brain's just picking it out.
Like the face on Mars.
Yeah. Although all the black bits on that were actually missing pixels because the camera wasn't very good.
But it did look like a face, didn't
it? Yeah, it did, but it's pareidolia.
But that's a psychological.
Yeah, but it could also be a face on Mars.
Yeah, but it could just be the fact that all the black bits on it weren't shadow; they were missing pixels.
Yeah, but it could also be a face.
No, Mike, they've gone over it again. It's a pyramid.
Oh, there's a pyramid on Mars now.
Yes, there is.
Apparently, there's an obelisk. Not an obelisk, a monolith on Phobos, according to Buzz Aldrin.
Oh, right. Buzz Aldrin,
There's photographs of it as well.
Well, Buzz Aldrin's saying that shit.
He said it live on air.
Wow.
He said, he actually said, there's a monolith on one of the moons of Mars, and he says, wait till people see that, they're going to freak out.
Shit. Because there's always the rumour, about Buzz, that he was actually the first man on Mars, if we've been there. Because they planned that shit for the late 80s, using a load of Saturn V's strapped together. And there was, if the conspiracy theories are true, about there being bases on Mars, and that ties into Randy Kramer, who we've previously mentioned.
We have.
And there is actually colonies on Mars.
Maybe there is a slave child colony on Mars.
Who knows? But that does tie into that. He's almost like saying, well, we've also been that far and fucking seeing shit. I mean,
isn't that video?
Probes picked that up. I mean, the probes for the time released. I mean, the photos weren't that great.
Did Buzz cry or something on a video? Is that, or am I making that up? Or
I know he punched a moon denier.
Yeah, I've seen that
was
one.
Fantastic.
I'm sure. I don't know if it's Buzz or I'm getting mixed up. Who actually said the words? What was his name?
Armstrong.
Oh yeah, maybe it's him getting emotional or upset in a speech.
He didn't have much contact with the media.
One of them said there's a really cryptic speech one of them gives about unknown things and secrets and
it's probably Edgar Mitchell.
Slit in the eye. No, it's one of the big ones, one of the famous ones.
Must be famous.
No,
there's only 12 men on the moon.
Let me find it. I know this is off the topic, but maybe while I'm looking for this, you can talk about what happened to this Solway man, because the Men in Black. Do you know about they came to visit him?
They did. He was visited by two government agents who referred to themselves as 9 and 10. They demanded to be taken to the site. Somebody's like, look, I didn't actually see him when I took the photo. He's there like, well, where was it? He's like, I didn't see it. And he's got pissed off and left. And they left him there.
Yeah. Well, I've just read, Mike, your theory of the uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You actually... Somebody I'm just reading here claims that the most likely thing is that it was his wife who was present on the day, who was wearing a pale blue dress which under overexposure came out as white, and he could have maybe done some stuff to it maybe. But or it could also have been a spaceman with a... But let's say a spaceman did have a sort of invisibility cloak and was, what was he doing out on the Solway Firth?
Looking at a family.
Oh, observing
a family. What was he doing?
This is how the humans behave.
Maybe he was getting his rocks off. Who knows? He threw his back to him.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And his arm is at a
if you do
Georgie
it-
angle.
Yeah.
Oh, he's having a slide on him with the kids. Oh, why is he with these interdimensional pedos? There's loads of grown-up women, you dirty alien bastard.
In every inconceivable dimension for that matter.
Sorry, go on. Oh yeah, do you want Neil Armstrong's weird speech? Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. Sorry. I want
Quick one. Paul Miller on a hunting trip. This guy on a hunting trip. Sees a luminous disc landing. 2 humanoids emerge from the disc. Being an American, he's on a hunting trip. What do you think he
He
does?
tries to shoot them.
Yes, he does.
Yes!
Fart his gun at them. He believes he injured one of them.
Oh, right.
Then they fuck off. Thing takes off. Later on, he actually works for the government, this chap. He's visited by 3 men in black suits. And they say, we have your file, we know all about it, and your encounter was best forgotten.
And he dropped the issue, did he?
Yep. Until he was also signed to a confidentiality agreement, which he then broke to tell that story, presumably a lot later.
Well,
Oh, someone made it up on the internet.
Are there any more encounters of Men in Black?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Raymond Stantz himself. God, I love the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite
Oh,
films.
growing up, I watched it.
I
to
still
the
watch
point
it.
of
Yeah.
insane levels, and I would watch it any time if it was on. I know it frame by frame, and I love it.
I actually do watch it at least once a month.
Yes.
Me, Ghostbusters and Predator have a strange relationship where I need to watch each of them at least once a month. Usually when drunk.
Well, good on you. Just before I forget this little last tangent, then it was Neil Armstrong who said this. Cryptic, let's say, rather than weird. He's doing a speech and he says, "Today we have with us a group of students among America's best. To you, we say, we have only completed the beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers. Perhaps one day soon, with the uncovering of the..." It was just that bit about truth's protective layer. And that sent all the ufologists and people into an absolute tizzy, because they're like, what does that mean? They take that to mean that if we can break through this, basically they're protecting us from the truth, because we can't handle it. The people that can break through that and get their heads around it, there are amazing discoveries. We've only just begun, basically.
I believe that is
Basically, he's saying,
very possible.
sit down, lads. I've seen the other side, man. Woohoo!
He's very quiet. He didn't speak a lot about where it goes to the moon.
Well, they did.
There's a lot of people who think they encountered something quite terrifying.
Yeah, there is that theory. Yeah, the ham radio operators will tell you that they encountered aliens on the moon. You know,
There's apparently an extra bit of transcript, isn't there?
Allegedly.
That says about, they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
And
Along
they're
those
watching
lines.
us from the craters, edges, and all this. And,
Get us the fuck out of here.
but oh man, I mean, there's always the rumours of the failed Russian attempt that ended with disaster, whether that was landing or on purpose, and obviously that's what they covered it
We'll
up.
never know, will we?
No.
The Russian people won't know, so we're not going to know.
No. Missing cosmonauts, stay tuned.
Oh, there's some juice in there. Whoa. So yeah, you had another MRBs.
Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yes, that was it.
Dan
the beautiful
Aykroyd.
Dan.
He was taping a show about the paranormal, wasn't
Yes, he was.
Was
it called Out There?
It
Was
was.
it called Out There?
It was.
Yes,
The
yes.
show, yeah.
He'd actually sold 10 episodes of Sci-Fi.
Yeah, and there was two. They were recording the last two or something 2 months
Something
ago.
like that. And he stepped outside to take a call.
And he'd been interviewing. He drops their names.
Britney Spears.
No. That's who he calls him on the phone. But he'd come out of this from interviewing, and he just drops their names like you should know them. But I guess there's some sort of alien, some famous people in this ufology type of world. And yes, steps outside, and who calls him Mike?
Britney Spears.
Britney fucking Spears, and
Wow.
she says, "Dan, where's me fucking hair? You're the Ghostbuster man. Where's me fucking hair gone? Me sanity." No. Hey, do you want to know an interesting fact why Britney shaved her head?
MK Ultra.
No, not well. I'm gonna drop some. No. I was going to say science. It's not science. It's just vicious
Truth bombs.
rumours. Truth bombs. It's just rumours, but it makes sense to me. She was in a custody battle at the time
Right.
for her children, and they use your hair apparently in very high-level cases because your hair for years can be used as a record of your drug use. Did you know that?
Cannabis
and-
stays in there for years.
Yes,
doesn't it?
and there's
Months,
a
maybe.
strong rumour that states that Britney
Buckley
was
boys.
absolutely fine mentally. Britney was being very crude and shrewd, shall we say, and thinking, well, they can't test it if it ain't fucking there.
Yeah.
And did it publicly so everyone thought she was having a meltdown or whatever, and really she's just like, you know.
I'd rather they thought
Allegedly.
I'd rather they thought I was nuts than actually a terrible parent.
Yeah, and lose my children. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather think the pressures of fame than, oh, she's neglecting, like,
Yeah, but
the redneck she is.
Then again, that's not a good defence, is it? I can have my kids back. I've got nuts and shave my head.
I'm okay now because you'll be okay by the trial because you'll have paid doctors to say, yeah, she's fine
Yeah.
now. Won't
Yes, she's
you?
liberated.
Call us expert witnesses.
Yeah.
Because that's the way. That's
Yeah,
what you
but,
can do.
You know, once you're tired with the mental brush.
Would you,
I've
you
been-
would know I was going to say
That's
that.
not a
joking.
Partridge quote.
Oh, right.
Anyway, an MIB steps out from a dark car,
Yeah.
looks at Dan,
Mm,
stares at him, stares him down. Dan turns away, and then the MIBs vanish.
mhm.
Dan! Dan!
You start dropping Alan Partridge quotes, please.
Dan!
Um,
Dan!
When?
Dan! Dan! Dan!
If anyone
It's
listening,
funny, it's funny!
if
No, it's
anyone,
not. It's just fucking annoying.
if anyone listening
Steve
hasn't
Coogan.
seen Alan Partridge, they're just
Don't watch it
thinking,
because you're not missing anything. It's
what
shit.
happened to Mike? Who's Dan?
Don't watch it. It's bollocks.
Oh no, I'm not having that. I'm having
Ah,
that.
fucking
What?
awesome.
Men in Black, the song, to reiterate, by Will Smith. Yeah, that one, off the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah?
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Alan Partridge, dog shit, don't bother. He's a British comedic institution.
No, he's not. It's bullshit.
Oh. Moving on. Men in Black.
Anyway, when Dan returned to the studio,
Dan!
let's not.
Okay, so. Yes, he went back to the studio. Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd was told the show was cancelled. For no apparent reason.
Oh, and he did say that it was physically impossible for the car to turn round in the street he was in without it coming past him and into his view. He claimed that geographically and it was just impossible to do that manoeuvre. So he thinks it disappeared into another dimension, or it put on its invisibility cloak, or and he's
Or
really
they pressed the red button.
yeah, and it or he just imagined that.
Yeah. And I love Dan Aykroyd.
Me too.
Ghostbusters.
Crystal Head Vodka. Did you know he invented that?
Did not.
He owns that company. He's worth a lot of money. And I heard him claiming the other day, I'm not affiliated with him or doing an advert for him, but I heard him claim that it is in fact the cleanest vodka on the market.
Oh.
Just as pure as it possibly can be. No thickening agents or other chemicals, so that's why it's
I'm on the Smirnoff
expensive.
tonight, actually.
That's why it's
Ironically,
expensive,
on vodka.
and because it's in a really beautiful bottle shaped like a skull.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's my factoid for today. Crystal Head Vodka, owned by Dan Aykroyd.
Oh,
Legend,
yeah,
but I
from
feel
Solway.
you're about to discredit him.
I'm not
I
going
want to swig vodka from a skull.
You're not arranging my birthday party!
It's going to be very skull themed.
The skull of a dead prostitute.
In all fairness, that does look a pretty cool birthday party. Swinging vodka from skulls.
Here's a story for you. When I moved to Liverpool,
What?
the first day I moved in, I met the neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, "Oh, you're the first person here since they found a dead prostitute in your bin."
That's just a local humour.
Cheeky
So,
Scouse humour.
and then the first week, I was walking back with some friends. About midnight, we'd been into town. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, something like that.
Yeah.
Police pull us over.
Mm-hmm.
So what you doing walking around here at night? Well, we're going home. He goes, we're students, we just moved here. He goes, well, you better hurry up. You don't be hanging around here at night. It's dangerous. That was the fucking police for the first
my
week
God.
here. There was a dead prostitute in my bin. I'm thinking, where the fuck have I moved to? Liverpool or Baghdad?
Well, you know, a little from column A.
I will say, apart from the one incident where there was racial and physical abuse to an Asian kebab owner. That was the only problem I saw.
Did you see some bloke getting beaten up by baseball bats and then left for dead?
Oh yeah, and that.
That's what you tell me about that.
Yeah, that and that. And stones been thrown at taxis as we're coming past or whatever. And other than that, it was a lovely place.
That's 4 major
I
things.
fucking hate taxis. Who throws stones at taxis? Well, oh man. So, what happened? Oh yeah, we told Dan's story.
Yeah, we told Dan. So
the Men in Black cancelled his television programme.
Yeah, pretty much. So what we'll go to, I got some little bit of extra, some more modern stuff, because a lot of this stuff is actually, from the Dan Aykroyd tale, pretty old.
40s and 60s,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But hidden amongst documents released by Edward Snowden are images from a PowerPoint presentation from GCHQ, which is our intelligence service, General Communications Headquarters.
James Bond.
This is where they spy on our internet and phone calls. And,
I drove past the GCHQ.
yeah, it's a massive big
near Cheltenham the other day for work, and this is how stupid I am. I saw the GCHQ on the sign, road sign, and I thought, I know that sounds important, like James Bondy or something. And it was doing my head in, I couldn't work out it was, and I fucking googled it, like, oh yeah, the government something communications.
General, what was it? The GCHQ, blah, blah, blah. Oh, General Communications Headquarters, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the only building they've got, but it's
Government Communications Headquarters. Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, sorry, couldn't I?
But it was entitled "The Art of Deception."
Mm-hmm.
It's a PowerPoint presentation, so they've got agents being shown this.
Or secretaries.
It points out, what was that?
Janitors, everyone, in
everyone,
the whole company.
It points out that the UFO community is a textbook case of a gullible group susceptible to manipulation. In the presentation were 3 UFO pictures, all of them fake, and it's implied they'd readily swallow whatever snippet of info they're given. This is from Guardian in 2014.
I did see something about it. Did you see something called Project Blue Book?
Yes.
No, I didn't. I heard. I think it was from that. So I apologise if I'm getting this wrong to anyone listening. Remember, you are the fact checkers. That one of their conclusions was that actual UFOs in the sky. They did actually look into. There were so many UFO sightings being reported. They actually did look into, are UFOs a threat to us? And their conclusion was no. Yeah. But another conclusion they did have was, the idea of there being UFOs is dangerous to us. Because of small things like, from everything from people actually trying to see what because obviously they have to do secret testing of secret equipment, army
that's a good
stuff.
thing then, isn't it?
Yeah, and then people try and spy on it because they think they're getting UFO stuff. And they want to discourage that. Also,
Also, it's a good bluff as well, because they used to actually encourage the UFO sightings because then it would hide their black project.
Yes.
Let me look this way. Have you ever seen the B-2 stealth bomber and the F-17 stealth fighter?
Not the second one.
You probably have. It's a triangular shaped one.
I can't see them because of the stealth. Sorry, I'll get the code. I know which one you mean.
The F1,
I've seen the
F-117
bomber. It's dead thin. It's got like a little.
Yeah, that's
thing.
the B2. Yeah, that's the B2.
Yeah.
It's a flying wing.
Yeah.
It's an Natter's invented, funnily enough.
It's like the back wing, actually.
It's
a bit.
And the F-117 is the one that's a bit smaller and it's quite triangly. It really points up and it's all differences reflected.
Yeah.
Well, you look at them from the side. You've never seen jack shit like that before. When they were unveiled in the late 80s and early 90s, they looked 100 years ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Now you look at them from the side, what have you got? You've got a flat wing
saucer
with a lump on the top.
Yeah.
Both of them. And I will guarantee you, most of the UFOs seen around Nevada and Las Vegas, where Area 51 is, where they were testing stealth technology, that's been released.
I'll tell you now that most UFO sightings are either the moon or the planet Venus.
Aren't they satellites a lot of the time?
Yeah, satellites
the moon, seriously. A full moon, it's bright, people are drunk coming home from work.
Oh, yeah.
Not from work. I'm always drunk coming back from work. I don't know about anyone else. But
That's that hip flash you keep on
Yeah.
your like.
gotta get through the fucking day, haven't you? But
It didn't work that often.
I know exactly. Still enough. They're coming home from the pub at night. They see a bright light in the sky. I've just seen a UFO. Most of it is the moon or the planet Venus.
Jesus, how stupid are people?
Very.
No, this is how
But
stupid
it
I
doesn't
am,
mean
though.
it doesn't mean
No.
some of them are
No.
legitimate.
And that leads me on.
But hang on, I will just admit to my own stupidity. I didn't know that you could see satellites and think they were stars until I was in Italy. So about 3 years ago, I was walking along. We're in Verona. Walking along, and I was like, "That's a beautiful star, isn't it?" And my friend Han was like, "I'm pretty sure that's a satellite, that one." And I was like, "Shut up!" I was like, "You're so stupid." You know what I mean? Like, you can't. She was like, "Of course you can see satellites on clear
Did it
nights."
move in the
Like,
sky?
why couldn't you? I can't really remember what
If
she
it didn't
pointed out.
move, it's a
about
star. If it did, it's
yeah,
not.
but I literally. But to that point, up till that point in my life, I didn't know that I could look up at night and see a fucking GPS
You see the
satellite.
ISS.
So, I've seen the space station because
Yeah.
somebody told me
You
when
have
to look
see
out
the
for it.
outline of it, can't you?
Yeah, it looked like a cross in the sky to me, and it was very reflecty. But yeah, you know, and then it brought to mind the song Billy Bragg. What is it? I saw a shooting star last night. I wished on them, but they were only satellites. Is it wrong to wish on space hardware? I wish you'd care. So yeah, good old Billy.
You jester, you.
Yeah, I like Billy Bragg. He's ace.
I was thinking more Satellite of Love by Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Isn't that just more about like
Loving.
cocking?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
cock.
So you thought you'd appreciate it more?
Satellite of love.
Take my satellite of love.
Yeah.
My cock's in another dimension at the moment, so
Yes.
Having a whale of a time.
Creepy bastard. But that does lead me on to Nick Pope, who's the closest kind of
Oh yeah,
thing
modern.
modern thing to a man in black. As he worked for the MOD, he ran the UFO desk at the MOD. He investigated 12,000 sightings in 3 years. 5% remained unexplained.
And one thing that always stick with me is the one he said, there's only one that I think's true, and the evidence has been destroyed. He accidentally put it in a furnace at the MOD.
They wouldn't do that, would they? They'd have to. That's like Terminator 2, where they break in and take the chip and the arm and
Don't stop me on Terminator.
chuck it in the fucking. You know.
So the only one that he believes could be true, he said the evidence has been destroyed.
There's a photo, and I've actually seen a
I think you're thinking of something different.
maybe, but he had this photo on his wall at one point, and it was like this massive. I've showed you the artist's impression because that photo
Was it an old couple
destroyed.
that's in it?
No, it was a Rambler,
This is something different.
and it was this massive UFO,
Yeah.
and it's got like two Harriers hovering either side of it, and the implication is you don't know whether it's like kind of being watched by us or whether it's one of ours.
There's
Well,
so many.
the
I mean,
man
look at
from
the
Blink
Mexicans.
182 told me today. Well, the man who got thrown out of Blink 182.
For his UFO beliefs?
Well, no, I don't think that had to do with it. But he told me today that, you know, there's like fucking visitations going on, you know, all day, every day. There's massive ships coming in and picking up little tinier ships and carrying them off, and that's how they get, you know, there'll be a massive intergalactical ship and then like one that they
Sounds
zip
very
about
much
the
like
planet
the
on.
Heaven's Gate.
Do you have any
Club.
evidence to back it up though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ex-generals and people that he met in airports, and they told him things,
Oh,
and
okay, it's
because he
anecdotal.
wrote a book about secret. I was thinking, how did this even happen? You know, I did not expect him to be talking about this, and he said he wrote a book about secret machines, and then ex-people, government people, started contacting him, and now because the guy is a multi-millionaire. Because not just from the band, he owns clothing ranges and skateboarding companies and all this stuff. He's got the funds. I think
I
he's
mean,
very.
does he own
I
that
think no.
t-shirt company
I think
that-
he's But
Boom.
hang on, Atticus or something.
That's
like
it,
that.
that's
I
it,
think
yeah.
though he's a very gullible guy being taken
Kill a
advantage of
mockingbird, isn't it?
because he's starting a company now with all these experts. I said this earlier, didn't I? To build an anti-gravity machine. But I think it sounds like a case to me of like a fucking millionaire with time to kill and gullible as fuck, and,
Virtually
and
infinite money.
anyone can say, and he seems very impressed by the fact that these are top level people of all different fields, and I'm like, oh man, I think this guy did one bong too many.
He snorted coke off one groupie too many.
That'll be us in about 5 years' time. Gaz will be just in the corner tripping his tits off constantly. Would have slept in weeks. We'll have hookers in here lap dancing for us. That'll be great.
I'd hope to think in 5 years I'll be nearly 40, and I would like to think I'll be over cocaine by then. I'd like to think if you offered me cocaine in 5 years, I'd go, oh no.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh no.
No, why? Why?
Because I'll be.
I mean, I've never done it, to be fair.
I'll be bloody. Oh my! I got this one, man. I'll be. Cause I'll be thinking, oh no. I'll go home, oh no! I'll go home and have a cup of tea. That's what I want to think. Because there's something slightly tragic, isn't there, about a 40-year-old man being like, a 40-year-old man who isn't a rock star, who isn't a famous actor, just being like, let's go.
In 5 years' time, you'll be a famous podcaster.
Yes, think positive. Oh yeah, well then obviously I'll be doing it all day, every day, literally. Like you said, I won't sleep for weeks. But so tell me,
dusting the microphones with coke.
I'll just literally do lines off the spit. So hit me with this. We're all over the place this episode. Sorry, listeners, but I blame the flu and marijuana. This modern geezer.
I've got one more modern tale.
Haven't we got Dan Aykroyd? Did we get?
We've done
Yeah, I didn't think we'd finished him.
Oh, we've done, yeah.
No, don't finish Dan Aykroyd, Mike.
That's the ghost job, isn't it? He's a spectrophile, isn't he?
He does. This is my point.
I don't know.
He does think a ghost is having sex with him.
You guys said this.
I don't think having sex.
No,
He said it was more sort of like.
No, Mike.
A hand job or something.
Mike.
Either way,
guys,
he's getting hand jobs with ghosts.
You both. I listened to an interview of him literally yesterday. The guy, he was talking about ghosts because he's very interested. He wants to find out if they're real or not. And Neil deGrasse Tyson was interviewing him, and he asked him, "Have you had an experience with a ghost?" And he was like, "Oh no, not me personally, but I spoke to many people who have." So I think you've got this ghost thing.
Or maybe
are you not thinking of the film where the ghost unzips his
might have
flies?
been before the incident, you see.
It was quite a recent interview.
Oh, I don't know then.
In the movie,
that tale, though. I have.
In
the
the
movie,
movie,
he puts it in.
a ghost unzips his fly.
Yeah, it's alleged as a blowjob.
Are you not getting like? Is this a bit like my friend Perry? Right,
At
school, a dog humped Perry. Right, pulled him on the floor and humped him. Within weeks, the story had gone from Perry was humped by an Alsatian to Perry sucked off an Alsatian and it came all over his face. There was 69 in. Perry got fucked in the butt by an Alsatian. You know what I mean? Is this not a case of that? Are you just being really unfair? Chinese whispers, I think they call it.
No, man, I'm sure. Oh, no, man. I'm sure I've read that tale.
I have read the tale, but you might be right.
I heard him say. Well, maybe he's not going to admit to Neil deGrasse Tyson, is he? You'd be a bit embarrassed when he'd say, actually,
yes. You go, actually, Dan,
a
you're
spectre whacked me off, Mr. deGrasse. And he'd be like, physics, Dan. I don't kind of see how an entity that doesn't really exist, Dan, could kind of touch a dick. And he'd be like, oh, believe me, it touched my dick. In the movie, I didn't get that as a kid, though. That scene, it didn't make sense to me as a very small child.
That doesn't really make sense.
He literally goes, doesn't he? Obviously, it makes sense now. But, I can do a good impression of Ray from Ghostbusters. That's my Ray impression. He stands there with a cigarette.
Radio, Gaz.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Basically, you stand there with a cigarette stuck to your lip.
Yeah, Gaz just literally stuck a cigarette to his lip and paused for a second.
That's my Ray impression.
Well, it wasn't for radio, let's just say that.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I'll take a selfie of my Ray impression and upload it on the page. Okay, yeah. Come on.
I've got one last, this is from 2017, this is this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks, Ben. Thanks for clarifying.
Just in case this podcast doesn't make it out.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
No.
I thought you were like, Gaz, 2017, which is this year.
No. Oh, just in case this podcast doesn't make it out before 2018, who knows?
Okay. They could be listening in any
Some
year.
shit could happen and we could just go into overdrive. I mean,
They could be
the
listening in
nukes could
2020.
fly and we just think, well, we might as well pass our time dying from radiation poisoning podcasting.
Yay!
I thought maybe we may put this on hold.
We'll be broadcasting to the apocalypse.
That is our motto.
We already are, some might say.
But I just thought, well, we may go, what, the Men in Black episode? Let's move that one back a bit and tell us
Because the nukes
how
are flying.
because let's tell us about how Mike had to break his code of no killing and butcher 3 rand mutants for a slice of beef.
Remember,
Slice of fucking cockroach meat.
No, I'm assuming they stole it from the shop or something. It was the last packet.
Cockroach.
We all get a third each, and that's the last food. I just thought it was just explicitly bleak. But you finally broke your no killing code, relieving the psychological pressure on me and Gaz in this scenario.
I'll be too busy having sex with one of them. Sorry, no, I won't. Did you say mutants though, not zombies?
I did
Mutants aren't
I said
dead.
rad mutants.
So
Well,
what's the policy
they
on
are
fucking
to-
a rad mutant?
Well, they are to Mike's bludgeon their skulls in with a hammer.
Oh, well, obviously, I prefer to wait if I can. Am I allowed to, in our future, am I allowed to fuck?
Well, I'm
If you want a fucking meeting, go for it.
I'm not gonna judge.
Okay, I want to just
would
be clear.
advise rubbering up.
Oh, of course, but...
Well, I've turned a blind eye to it. There are 3
Well,
humans.
thank you. That's kind of you. So you're not going to execute my rad mutant girlfriend?
My son
No.
was good looking. I'd
And
fuck
thank
Layla
you.
out of Futurama.
Yeah.
She was a mutant.
Yeah. I don't know.
Actually, she was an
First.
alien, wasn't she?
No, she's a mutant.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah. I'd have preferred Amy.
No,
Yeah.
Leela.
Amy.
This reminds me of Red Dwarf. Another quote's coming. Why are we discussing if Fred would leave? No, why are we discussing if Wilma's
Fred will never
Flintstones?
leave
Yes,
Will.
she'll never leave Fred, and we know it. I butchered that, but basically, yeah, we're talking about cartoons
I'd
being
do Betty
sexy.
Rubble.
But I'd do
It
Betty.
wouldn't do Betty.
I'd have Betty. Betty over
Wilma's
Wilma.
chopper and
I'd be
arse.
thinking of Wilma. I'd be thinking of Jessica Rabbit. She's the hottest
Oh,
cartoon
don't be
ever.
sad on Disco Rabbit.
She's the hottest cartoon ever.
Oh yeah. No, every time, absolutely.
In my opinion. So
Okay.
yeah, Men in Black. Good guys dressed in black, remember that.
Any more examples?
Yeah, I haven't finished off 2017 boy.
Oh yeah.
Go on then.
Max,
'cause-
Max Spears.
Oh, he's the one that died
Yes, he's a 39.
He
Was
was
a
found-
39-year-old UFO
in a
expert.
Polish flat.
Yeah.
Apparently, a black ooze coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, he got to speak at this
What coming out of
conference
his
in
mouth?
Poland. A black ooze.
Black goo.
Yeah, a black vomiting a black.
Like the one in
liquid.
X Files. Remember that?
I'm gonna make another
It's a
shocking.
fucking-
Oh, for God's sake, Gaz. I haven't seen all of them religiously, but at least watched enough.
Watch the X-Files.
Jesus.
I've seen all the WrestleManias.
So have I! I want to time my life to fit both.
I mean,
don't-
X Files in the day. That was the you had X Files and then you had Outer Limits after.
Gillian Anderson, I mean, come on.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't.
Yeah, what a crafty one over Gillian. Not during the X-Files,
Maybe
obviously.
no,
like
when
weird,
she was
but-
in FHM and I was like 14
Yeah.
and we didn't have access to the internet.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
I had that
I was
issue.
about to go on a porn rant then about they don't know they're born today, how easy access it is.
I had that issue.
Well, anyway, oh what, wanking? Yeah,
No,
it's still an
that
issue.
the
to be honest.
FHM issue.
I know what you meant. I was doing a crude joke.
and the wanking issue with
Yes.
that episode. Kept that magazine crisp for a long time.
Oh no. What happened to Mr. Spear?
Oh man, that's really inappropriate. Because he's
Why?
dead.
Did he get speared?
No.
He had that black goo coming out
Hang
of
on.
his mouth, didn't
Did the
Yeah.
episode of the X-Men
X-Files.
X-Files? I've seen a lot of the X-Men cartoon. Obviously this episode of the X-Files came out a lot before 2017.
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah,
90s.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they could just be copying this black ooze.
But what he did do is before he went on this conference,
I don't know. I've not
Is
seen
he-
the coroner's
is he
report.
told his mother to investigate if anything. He texted her on the way there. Anything happens to me, please investigate it.
Yeah, but Corey Feldman has said that in the press recently because of what he claims he's going to
Yeah,
release.
he set up a Kickstarter, hasn't he?
But
He
the
wants to
thing
raise
is,
$10 million and he's going to expose a
expose
paedophile.
the Hollywood.
Why is he going to raise $10 million
Because
first?
he
Exactly.
wants to make it a good documentary. He wants legal fees as well.
Couldn't you just tell some people about it rather than
Exactly.
raise $10 million?
But also, he's saying if anything happens to me,
Couldn't you just come out and do a public press conference and start speaking about it rather
Well, he
than
could
saying, give me $10 million first and then I'll start speaking about it?
It's Hollywood, Ben.
No, that's bullshit. It's fucking true. Just come fucking tell the tale. Just sit down in front of a bunch of people and
he'll
start
be eaten
speaking.
alive in court. He
He
needs a
said
lawyer.
he needs lawyers and legal fees. Apparently his
They'll-
band's ditched him now, haven't they?
But anyway, my
The
point
money will
was,
come in once it starts fucking getting out there.
Well, he's raised 100,000 in like a day, so...
Well, I'm sorry. I
my
just
point
didn't
is
spill
that,
it.
and he's also saying if anything bad happens to me, investigate it. It'll be I'm being suicided. Blah blah blah. Anyone can fucking say that. I could say that now and not die for 20 years. But when I do die, what I
Yeah,
said
but-
still stands, and you're still gonna have to fucking investigate it because I said it. Anyone can fucking say that to make themselves sound interesting.
Actually, I'm going to say it right now.
Who's about to go and kill themselves because he looks a bit mentally unstable to me, possibly because he was a victim of abuse as a child by some high-powered people, also possibly because he was a child star who didn't become any other kind of star, did a lot of fucking drugs and is washed up in his C-list and fucking no one gives a fuck, and so he's got to think of something to desperately keep himself in the public eye. That's another possibility. Anyway, he's probably going to die soon, and I doubt it could be the CIA, it could be a big movie studio, or it could be a lifetime of abuse.
Could be S cancer.
Or it could be, as most deaths happen in the home, he could slip and fall in the bath. I'm often terrified that's how I'm going to die, because that's an horrible, just taking a really bad... Just imagine really falling over out of the bath and your full weight coming... You could die... That's probably how I'm going to go out.
deaths.
I'm going to die with my own balls resting gently against my chin as I fucking... with my cock under my nose as I gurgle my last few spasmatic breaths on this fucking earth. And that's how they find me.
That's just chilling.
That's how they find me.
That
The
is
first thing
chilling.
they see is my butthole. Right above my chin.
You've always...
Chilling?
There's always that urban myth, isn't there? The guy that's found his neck broken sucking his own dick. It's like an urban myth, isn't it?
Is that how you're trying to justify it, Mike?
Or is it just the people I hang about with?
I promise you that if you ever find Mike like that, we will take pictures and put them on the Facebook page. As a true prophecy. If I go
But my dick's in another dimension, so what am I doing? Licking my own arse.
yeah.
Licking my balls.
Oh man! I
Oh, where's
think
it
when I was really young, out of curiosity, I did see if I could reach my own penis. But thinking back on it as an adult, if I'd have made it and it actually went in my mouth, I'd have been fucking horrified. What was I thinking? What was I
There's also a
thinking?
room that Prince had his lower ribs removed so he
Yeah.
could relate himself.
Well, I've heard Kevin Smith say in an interview that he actually managed it.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Yeah, but no, I'll admit, there was a time when I was like, I wonder if I can. And I couldn't. But then I'm thinking back on it, like if
Well-
I had I'd have been like, what am I doing?
Well, I never did because I always heard that story like God that broke his neck. So it put me right off. Maybe my parents told me to warn me off.
Maybe that's why we give it full effort. Alright, okay, alright. I'll be hosty here.
I wonder if there's any other conspiracy news shows where auto-inflation and all the other shit that's come up tonight.
Let's try and wrap it up. So
Yeah, come on.
Alright.
Because I want to
Let's-
give you my theories.
Can we do the movies?
yeah, well, I was going to say let's very briefly
Well, I want to
go
give you
through
my
the
theories.
movies.
I'll do the movies and we'll wrap up at the end because
Yeah.
I've got theories on why these stories exist
Right.
and who they could be.
I'm going to sum up really briefly. 1, really good. 2, bag of shit. 3, passable.
I will admit, I have seen all 3 movies.
Yep. I own 1 and 3, I think.
Vast majority of the first 2 blurs into 1 for me. It's been a while since I saw them, and I watched the 3rd one fairly recently, within the last couple of years. So I remember bits of it. I have a terrible memory, so unless I watched it like yesterday, I remember really enjoying the first one. I'm thinking this is because I loved Well, I love sci-fi.
Yeah, I
Any-
was what, 16 when that came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any big budget Hollywood sci-fi movie, especially a comedy, and they're quite rare, you know, but an action sci-fi comedy, I was like, well, this is all my fucking sweet spots, you know. Will
Yeah.
Smith, you know, was uber cool at the time, wasn't he?
Independence Day that time as well.
Yeah. Man, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. One of my favourite movies, actually.
Well, from the gist, I can't remember, like I said, they blur into one to me, but from what I was reading online, people like the first, think the second's a cynical cash-in bag of shit, and like the fact that the third one ties things up
It
in
does.
a story way.
It does, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was, the end. The twist at the end was actually kind of like, ah.
Spoilers if we're going to say what the twist was.
Do you remember?
No.
Basically,
Tommy
the
Lee.
villain, Tommy Lee Jones is there with Zed, and Zed's dad, and Zed's a kid,
Right.
and the villain kills Jay's dad. Ignore I said Zed. So we shoot Jay.
Which is
Yeah,
worse,
basically Jay's dad gets shot,
Mhm.
and Tommy Lee Jones is like, well, young Tommy Lee Jones is like, well, oh.
Josh
He
Brolin.
promises
Yeah.
to look after him, and you get the feeling that it was also
Mm.
from that point
okay.
he was destined to be
To
a
be
man in
like
black.
his father
He'd been
figure.
looking over him from all them years,
Yes.
not direct, but he'd give him a nudge here and there
Yes.
discreetly, but
Like a guardian
guiding
angel.
him towards the path where he's going to end up being a man in black. I've really badly explained the ending.
The man in black.
It's a nice sort of twist.
Are you going to sing the song, Gaz?
I wonder why I'm always dressed in black. Well, you never... That one.
You'll never see.
Bright colours
on
on
my
my
back.
back. Fuck, you love that song. Have you ever seen there's a clip on YouTube of him singing it for the very first time, like the day that he wrote it to like a crowd of. I'll send you it, and it's like he's at a university campus or something. So the audience he's playing it to are perfect. When he gets to the lines about 100,000 men who died, they're like, people back then used to applaud like actual lines in songs.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? When you can hear, because the prison albums of Johnny Cash's I adore, where he plays live in a prison,
Yeah.
and like
Oh, yeah, they
people
are great.
applaud actual lines, individual lines in songs. Sing a line that they agree with or think's cool in a song, and you'll get a fucking rah.
Yeah, I've got some old
does that happen
Crosby,
now?
Stills, Nash and Young live recordings,
Yeah.
and they're clapping him when the chorus comes on and stuff. It's a bit odd. I haven't noticed that.
Well, have anyone got anything to say about the movies? They're very successful, aren't they?
From
Even
a
if
comic
people
book?
don't. Is it based on a comic book?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, it
wondering
is,
that.
yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
okay. That's what came
In the
first.
80s.
I really think the first is quite a clever film. It's got its funny moments. Like I say, it ticks all the boxes. It's an easy Sunday afternoon film.
Perfect.
I haven't got to
Hangover.
think too much about it. Will Smith's cool at the time. He's still cool now, to be fair. I wish I had a black friend like Will
I
Smith.
made this look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fun film. The second one's just bad. It's just bad.
I don't remember it. It must have been quite forgettable.
It is. Sadly, I think I've watched it about 3 times, trying to give it a chance, and 2 of them were while I was drunk, probably as well. And it's like, you know what? This is just. It's not Starship Troopers 3 drunk bad. It's way below that.
Starship Troopers 2 level.
I've never watched Starship.
That's critical.
Yeah, that's the worst drunk film I've ever seen, and nothing will ever surpass it. Yeah, so that's it. 3's passable. 3's okay. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's a less enjoyable Sunday hangover afternoon film.
Like I said,
the first one's like, well, oh yeah, I remember that hint of nostalgia. The third one's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that wasn't a bad way to wrap it up, kind of thing.
I watched it on Netflix fairly recently, and like I said, I have basically no recollection other than I remember thinking Josh Brolin played a good young Tommy Lee Jones. I do remember thinking that.
Let's just say it's a
can't
good
even
job we're
remember.
not doing movie reviews like our friend Chris.
Hey,
Because it's
yes.
shit.
Yeah.
well, I would have, if we was going to specifically review
No, I
it,
know, yeah.
I will refer you to our They Live movie review, where I made some very salient points
Yes, Gareth, you did.
about Roddy Piper's clothesline technique.
And his belly suplex.
Oh,
We
yeah.
spent a lot of time marveling over that.
Oh, that's one thing I've come to know from listening back to these, is I've come to hate my own stoned laugh, my bacon.
Yes.
Stoned.
I
I
have come to
apologise
hate
to
mine.
listeners, but we do get really high when we do this.
Should we Go
I
into your
watched
last.
the, oh, no,
Your
no,
last.
I've got one more.
Yeah, one more. Go on.
So I watched The Strangerers.
Okay.
Now that's like.
I think you spelt that wrong.
Is it worth doing this?
The
Strangerers.
Strangerers, it's called. Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to
It's
say, isn't
Rob
it?
Grant.
Strangerers. Oh yeah, you told me earlier. Yeah, sorry.
He was Red Dwarf fame.
Mm-hmm. Ledge.
So they split up, didn't they?
They did.
And Doug Naylor continues to do Red Dwarf. Well, Rob Grant went to Sky One and did a program called The Strangerers,
Right.
which is about men in black, although they're actually men in dark blue.
Right.
Dark blue suits and a black hat. And they come to Earth, and it's an odd series. It's 10 episodes. Well, sorry, 9, but the first one's a double episode. And it starts with 3 aliens in human form. They land on Earth in alien spacecraft, and they have to learn to operate in the human skin and speak like humans. And I just picked out some good bits in it, some good lines that I found. There's one line that says, "We've been spotted, we must abort the mission," as they're seen by some stoned hippies. And the supervisor goes, the ship's mind reader ensured that we were only seen by low credibility witnesses of minuscule intellect. This way we guarantee the bulk of humankind dismiss reports of our location as fancification.
Well, it is always fucking weird yokels and people.
Yeah. It is.
Do you know what that just reminded me of? Oh, I hate the fact that I remember this, but it was quite good. I hate that I remember adverts, but it was an advert for Volkswagen way back in the day, and like the bright lights come out of nowhere, and it's these rednecks, and it goes, "It had a V." W.
Yeah,
and like they're
you
explaining
think it's
like
a UFO
UFO,
sighting.
yeah, that's what that brought to
Yeah.
mind. But the plot of that, them getting used to a human body, is one of the theories to explain these actual
Can we take a break before you get into
men in black?
Your
Well, we've got to wrap it up.
explanation?
There's several theories. Let's have a pause for the cause.
I've got a few more.
Oh, sorry.
I just could do with a slash.
Let's be honest.
You
I think you probably should go for one.
Alright, okay.
The listener won't know. We'll press pause.
Okay.
See, magic. Ben didn't pee himself, and the listener is none the wiser.
Yeah, it's a good job they didn't hear that, to be fair.
Yeah. You know, one day I think we should just tell you we've paused it. Oh, you're the one who presses pause. We can't trick you.
No,
you can trick
can't.
me.
The power's in my hands. Mwah.
I'm like, oh, we'll record Gaz peeing, and I'm like, why does it burn? Quick, press pause. Nothing some antibiotics can't cure. Anyway. Sorry.
Okay.
Right.
The Strangerers, yeah. So there's 3 of them. There's 2 initiatives in the supervisor, but the supervisor dies and loses his head. So they just tape it back on, and they're walking around with him. And there's another quote I like. He says, "What are you saying? We stay here, set ourselves up in human domiciles, establish ourselves in a mating unit and get a job in an office abode and iterate the phrase, 'honey, I'm home,' daily, acquire offspring, perform hoedowns and clam bakes with alarming regularity, break inexplicably into song mid-conversation, perform elaborate dance routines and herd cattle from a place called Wyoming, and fire projectiles at manly male threatening personages in black outfits." I'm assuming he means black men in that.
Well, I
Special
don't know.
Forces soldiers.
He said outfits.
He did say outfits, but
Steady on, Mike.
that was my take of it anyway. You know.
Well, I mean, it's a race, eh, with you. Wow.
Well, they did just describe what we're supposed to do. Well,
I
what
thought
they
that was
tell
quite,
us we're
I thought that was
supposed to
quite
do.
funny. That sums up fucking human.
Well, you know, sometimes I
Yeah.
think that's what everyone else seems to be doing.
Yeah.
But,
And at the end of the first episode, they're looking at the sun from the hilltop. It's quite a somber mood. The one says, "Look at that, 1,000 glittering lights, 1,000,000 souls. And look over there, dog eggs." It just amused me.
Fair enough. We've learned a lot about you this episode, Mike.
So,
It's like a therapy session.
that's what this is.
Should we sum it up?
Yeah,
Men in Black.
Okay,
Right.
I'll run you some of the possible theories
Go on then.
that I have
And I shall give you the bollocks or no bollocks.
that I have been exposed to during my quote-unquote research.
to see.
And some of these are just my own musings, to be honest. I've forgotten which is which. But okay, they could be UFOs that are here. The government know they're here. They're allowed to be here. And so obviously, if somebody has a bit of a sighting, they're going to want to go and find out what's going on, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the government are like, well, we'll leave that with you. If you can do it without exposing yourselves, like, you know, well, not your exposing your genitals. I mean, like, you know,
exposing yourselves to some kind of loony who sees
as being here. So they go there in their sort of either robotic suits or sort of maybe biological zombie suits.
Some kind of avatar kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be hologram. So could be
Virtual
UFOs.
body.
Could be. This is my favourite. And I actually have. I did have an article somewhere. That basically it's either because all this stuff, this early stuff from the 40s and 60s, of like agents being a bit weird, acting off, asking weird questions, looking a bit different. I think so. These are either government or they're non-government. They're either other ufologists or somebody with a vested interest who wants to just put these people off or send them a bit crazy. Just fuck with them, maybe.
Yeah.
Back then, it would have been. I remember that report you read out that said this group is a gullible, easy to manipulate group. Back then, you could get away. Imagine an agent just doing this for shits and giggles.
Oh fuck yeah!
Painting his skin to look a bit rubbery.
Put on a mask.
You know,
even
a mask.
You guys the CIA wouldn't have had like fake face.
Yeah,
sort of
and
things
somebody who's
going
already
on.
a bit jittery and looking at the stars and thinks they've seen a UFO, then has one of these experiences and saying things like "must go," "power," "low."
Yeah.
You know, really fucking
Just,
with, you know, and. This day and age, that's less possible because of the internet, because we're all connected. You could get on Google
video
straight away.
couldn't you?
Yeah, you could film it. You could, but experiences like that, which then it's only word of mouth. It's your word basically. You couldn't just whip out your camera. I think back then you could do this, and there possibly, I think, were some people out there. Were they government? Don't know. Were they other ufologists just either wanting to discredit or fuck with people?
Or skeptics.
And let's be honest, let's
Yeah,
propose they're real. Let's propose that they are real and they are from some government agency that isn't a public one that we don't know about, because there's obviously secret things that aren't public. They would they someone with a credible sort of UFO experience who's putting it out there. Because a lot of these guys we've brought up today, if I remember right, I'm quite high with doctors and people like that. And
doctors.
You know,
the
of
point where we
something.
know they're doctors. I mean,
Yeah.
Dr. Bender. I don't know
Well,
what his,
they're
I
more-
don't know what his doctorate was in. Or
We all know what he's done.
Hey, Mike, your fucking bigotry's coming out strong this episode.
Well, you know, and not being funny, but a professor or doctor or something is going to be a more credible witness
I love the gays.
than a bin man. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, Mike.
Yeah. So, can I continue?
He was calling me homophobic and I was defending myself.
Took
Wait
you a
till I
long
finish
time
my
to say it.
So, a fucking professor sees a UFO. He's more credible than a bin man or somebody like that, or a bum.
Yeah.
So, if they're real, they would try and shut them down. And now, this day and age, they probably don't bother. They just turn off your bank account or frame you as a fucking sex offender.
What's that other Will Smith movie? Enemy of the States and that?
Yeah, that's quite old now, though, isn't it?
That sort of shit you're on about, yeah?
Well, just suppressing information. But in this day and age, they would just like, they wouldn't have to send a weird agent having a laugh to fuck with your brain and send you mental. They'd inject you with something at the bus stop, or like I said, turn off your bank account, frame you as a sex offender. You know, do any.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to come and visit you and give you the willies, so to speak. Do I think a lot of people make up shit? Because the thing is, like I said at the start, I want to believe that they are men in black. I don't know why. Because the other thing is, part of this conspiracy that we haven't brought up yet is the mention of black vans and things and black helicopters that hover and watch.
That's like a CIA
Yes,
thing.
Obama has admitted to black helicopters, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yes, he did. On the I heard it on the Mark Maron podcast that he did. He was like, yes, there are black helicopters. Can I just send them to your house? No. you know.
The black also means black ops, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they do literally. He's saying yes, we
Yeah,
have
they are
helicopters
black as well.
painted black. Like but
Well, they're wearing black anyway because all helicopters get painted black
Yeah,
in
but
the US military.
people think there's Men in Black
Really?
helicopters.
Yeah, you
I remember the ones in Vietnam being green.
Yeah, they do nowadays.
Oh, were you there?
That's what my previous life.
You weren't there, man.
I've seen the horrors,
The
man.
Black Hawk is painted black, the Apache is painted black, the Chinooks are painted black. Those are the three workhorses.
Well, I've seen the ones in Iraq, they're desert coloured.
All I know about
the lethally ones are all black.
all I know about Vietnam is what Sylvester Stallone told me. You know, when he has his freak out in the forest talking about Vietnam, man. That was my.
Is that Rambo?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, great.
That's
Oh, is it
literally
like-
what he says.
And Johnny, on your home, Johnny. Good for his fucking legs. Something like that, wasn't it?
My favourite piece of Sylvester Stallone acting comes from the fucking classic Rocky 3.
Oh yeah.
When Mickey dies, very sad, very, very
It
dramatic.
is?
Yeah. When Rocky... I shouldn't laugh, but when Rocky's mourning and crying over Mickey's body, Rocky's form of crying is to go, move! 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 Over and over. Move! And I just think
They can't someone with a disability.
it's an incredible piece of
I
acting.
think this is a disability hate crime.
Don't push these off from you.
Yeah, don't try and make us look bad. Just I'm doing simple comedic impressions. Hey boy.
Simple Stallone acting.
Yeah,
And delivered. Is he alt-right or anti?
He's both. He's playing. He's an agent provocateur.
Alt-fer.
Ultimate.
Yeah. An ACDC, I'll go both ways.
Fuck's it's all coming out
You
today.
just ruined AC/DC for me as a band. So you're going for that.
I'm going for it's probably government or somebody
Yeah,
ufologist having a laugh.
While I don't disagree that the government did send certain people around to sort of say, stop talking about that shit you're seeing, possibly because they were testing the stealth aircraft around that area and didn't want someone. You don't want someone blabbing about it and bringing more eyes to an area where you're testing stuff, basically. Like, by putting very little, well, they've extended the airspace at Area 51 now, so, and the ground area, so you can't really see what's going on in there.
Well,
You know, maybe there's some sort of true things about that, but the rest of it, I genuinely do think is just like it's like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna expose the truth about UFOs. Actually, the evidence doesn't stack up. I know what I'll do. I'll say some strange men in black came and visited me.
I think that counts for some of them.
And that
definitely.
gets you back on the talking circuit. That gets you back.
That's the
selling
thing. They
books.
make money off the Men in Black thing.
That's
then.
it.
Well, we could say we had one.
Yeah, but now we've established that we haven't because you just said we can say we had one.
The power of editing, man. I could have edited that out.
Motherfucker.
We'll edit this out.
It'd be quite interesting how many ridiculous sites and groups picked it up, because that's all you have to do. All these people are literally doing is telling a story, aren't they?
Yeah.
I could just claim I saw a UFO first.
No, say that
And then-
you've been threatened about the podcast.
Oh yeah, in a back alley, with a man with a strong Russian accent.
August says a toneless
Yeah, robotic voice.
robotic voice. There wasn't Stephen Hawking. He
He sounded exactly like Megatron. It was fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Think about it, Megatron's screamy voice coming out of someone.
Starscream would be more terrifying.
Very high
Do you have a
pitched.
barbed penis?
Well,
Were you abroad with two priests?
yes.
Did you go to some woods?
Yes.
Is your real name Philip?
Yes. Have you noticed I'm sitting very uncomfortably?
Did you have scarring for 10 years?
It was picked up by my army.
Picked up by an army at medical, but not revealed at the time for some reason, because I think I was a doctor, I might mention or something.
What episode was this from? Because some people listening might not know what the fuck we're talking about.
Oh, is it
Multiverse,
Satanism?
was
No,
it? Or
Satanism, isn't it?
Satanism.
Oh yeah, Satanism Part 1. I think.
And, maybe if I did have a barbed anus, I'd scarred anus, and I hope my doctor would tell me about it. And then my wife commented on it for some reason, didn't she? And then I thought, I should go to the doctor. My scarred anus.
From a demon.
From a demon penis. I'd completely forgot about it.
That was raised by someone that was either Indian, Chinese, or Russian.
Hispanic.
Can't remember.
Yeah, that's the one.
If you haven't listened to that
Incredible
episode,
fucking witness that guy is.
if you haven't listened to that episode, the last 60 seconds made literally no fucking sense.
But
to
go
you.
back and listen to the last episode.
Listen to them all. Why haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Mike?
Mike, go on, hit us with some knowledge, Mike. Try and win back your science
Us,
crown.
Mike.
Well, there's no evidence. It's all anecdotal.
Well,
The only evidence I've seen is that video.
that video. Oh, we didn't mention that.
Of the two
Guys,
Men in Black.
yeah.
They were quite large guys.
Yeah. Dressed in kind of
Either that or
40s
the,
styles.
They're going to get some tall Jewish Orthodox men.
They were either really tall or the guy was a dwarf. The one
Robots. Are they little aliens in robot suits, potentially?
Would the film
You can't
give us
say
that
that
much
they're
of a
not.
kick?
You can't say... You could say they're...
I could say that
Probably
you're not.
Well,
Okay,
what
so
I mean
you're not an alien in a man suit.
Maybe
I
I
can say
am.
Mike's not an alien in a man suit.
No, you
Actually, I'm definitely not an alien in a
could
man
say
suit. I promise you I'm not.
You could say in all probability, but there is a small chance that these men in black are very little aliens here, operating robot bodies. That's why they're all herky-jerky and awkward.
Would the
It's a
film give that much
possibility.
away?
Yes, they're rubbing it in our face. They do that all the time, you know that, Ben.
Well, The Matrix.
No, they do it all the time, rub it in our face all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't want nothing rubbed in
The
my face.
NASA
I
sign.
can think of a few things I
The
definitely
NASA
wouldn't
symbol.
mind rubbed in my face.
The NASA
Sorry.
symbol.
I don't go on the NASA symbol.
No, I don't want that rubbed in my face. I was thinking more vagina.
No.
Oh, sorry.
What about hiding in plain sight?
Oh,
The reptile tongue.
Oh, it's not a reptile
forked
tongue.
It's a forked tongue, and it symbolises the. Okay, I'm not gonna go on a rant.
Face it, Mike. You just can't. You just.
We're gonna break our bondage, people. We're slaves to these reptiles.
Hi everyone, welcome our new overlords. Hail Lance.
I'm sorry, but it's a fucking forked tongue. That's the NASA symbol.
okay, but are the men in black real?
Yes.
Yes, you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say bullshit.
Come on.
And,
Are they robots? Probably not, but there's probably some men in
They-
black.
Like
I'm-
Ben says, there's probably agency officers or whatever on the in NSA and all this shit that do come to people
yeah,
and
yeah,
frighten them off.
yeah. Also, I think that these dudes from the 50s and 60s, they were trying to make a living out of this UFO phenomenon that was new and exciting and was getting a lot of press
Sell books.
and movies and it sells books.
And they exaggerated the
And they exaggerate the claims. We're going to prove it, and then they've sat there and looked at it and thought, all my evidence is bollocks. I need to get out of this, but I also need to keep it spinning.
So
How
we're
do I keep
saying,
it spinning?
so we're saying a little bit true, a little bit bollocks.
Yeah, how do I keep it spinning? I invent some of these. Oh man, these two men in black turned up, and they were completely hairless and featureless, and one made a coin disappear in my hand.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You
He's a
throw that
magician.
shit in, keeps you back on the scene, doesn't it?
Mm.
I mean,
Well-
I hate it because I want to believe this shit's real. I'd love to. I genuinely would. But then you look at how much of a circus, a financial circus, that the UFO talk circuit is, and the books. I mean, I bought Timothy Good's books in the past, British ufologist. But all of their stuff, it just goes back to the 50s and the 60s. Like, there's nothing new, nothing concrete, nothing.
Is that Aykroyd?
Yeah, but he does. I don't know if he has
Raymond
sexual-
Stantz.
Maybe Dan Aykroyd, but at the same time, his career's flagging a little bit. As much as I hate to say it.
Ah, he was in that
Is he-
Adam Sandler movie I watched.
Yeah, that explains why his career's
Pixels.
flagging. He's in Adam Sandler movies.
Hey, everyone said that was dog shit, and
It is.
Maybe it's because I had the flu, but I fucking loved it. It was great. I didn't use my brain once. video games came to
Isn't,
life.
oh fuck, what's his name? Game of Thrones. Peter
Peter
Dinklage
Dinklage
shows up in that.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters. I didn't have to use my brain once. It was great. I was very rough with flu and hangover, and that's all I needed and all I could handle. And I thought it was wonderful.
Have you ever seen Death at a Funeral?
No, I haven't.
That's got Peter Dinklage in it.
No,
It sounds real
funny.
good fun.
It is very funny.
Oh, is it a comedy?
It's like
Thank God.
4 Weddings and a Funeral, sort of toffish, but it's actually quite funny. And
I hate toffs.
Peter Dinklage is a coked up dwarf that they try to.
He's never played a dwarf, is he? Never.
Yeah, and it's quite funny. I
Well,
guess.
the one stilts. This one's
Right, come on, let's wrap this up. We're rambling.
So he's a coach up dwarf.
Yeah, he's been having an affair with their dad, who's
Right.
just died. He's trying to blackmail them for money.
Okay.
So I'll pass these photos around the funeral. Yeah. So they gave him a load of drugs. Yeah. They think he's dead. They put him in the coffin with the man. Yeah. So they're at the funeral. Everybody's there. The priest is doing the thing. Yeah. Knocking on the fucking coffin door. Spoilers, by the way. Knock on the coffin door. This fucking dwarf just comes out, coked up to his eyeballs out of the coffin. It's fucking hilarious.
That does sound quite fun.
It is really good film. Yeah.
I've watched a few dwarf films, and that's never happened. None
Was
of
that the
them.
last porn film on your
No,
phone?
that's
you
why I
wanted to
shut
see?
it down so fast. Now, come on.
Peter Dinklage was in a metal band, wasn't he?
Oh,
Was he?
Yeah.
can we wrap this up?
Metal or punk band, he was.
Wow. Wow.
Peter Dinklage.
So I'm going
Creepy
for.
little
I'm
bastards.
going to go for possibly.
Great acting in Game of Thrones. Though,
Fantastic. Yeah.
Guess
absolutely,
what?
Absolutely. Someone's seen it.
I think we mentioned Game of Thrones every episode just to get it in our hashtags.
It's cutting marketing, people.
I still won't watch it. Right.
So I will
You
go
still haven't
for.
watched it. You haven't watched Sopranos.
I haven't watched Breaking
You haven't watched
Bad.
X-Files.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad.
I want a Breaking Bad Odyssey at the minute. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in the. I'm
Alright,
in
let's
the
wrap
season
up.
2.
I might give it a go.
Right. Anyway, I
Yeah.
think some stories are true. Maybe some people were warned off. A lot of it. These really publicised ones are balls. Guys, you may think they're reptiles or aliens or people from another dimension
Or robot suits.
or robot suits. And Mike, you're
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
so you're sort of on the fence.
I'm on the
Surprisingly on the fence. Right. So there we go. We're wrapping that up. Men in Black. Possibly bollocks.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I've been
So you've
Ben.
been listening for 2 hours and you're no closer to the truth.
Exactly.
That's fucking
Decide for
beautiful.
yourselves.
That's what it's all about.
So it's all about.
And
We just present you with shit.
Remember, you are the fact checkers.
Because we can't be armed.
Right.
And never go full Alex.
And with
Never
that,
go
I'll
for
say
it.
peace out.
Free Biff Tannen.
I'll say stay classy. Enough.
Bye.
Good night.